that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut.
What are you? He's the best.
Yeah.
He's a master motivator.
I'm a master motivator. I ain't no regular ass motivator. I'm a fucking master.
Coaches tried to make practice so hard that the game was less intrusive. Like they coached you that way. Like people think, well, they were just yelling. No, they were trying to put you under stress and put you in under duress so that when you got in the game, you could mentally handle adversity.
If you go through JUCO and you make it out of JUCO, you can make it anywhere.
I respect the hell out of you to see that you're doing what you're doing and still doing what you're doing for real, the way you do it, man. From day one, you had the same enthusiasm. You keep the same enthusiasm, and it's fucking contagious.
In my opinion, I think Shedeur Snow's the best deep ball in college football. I don't think
Can you just say something nice about Shedeur Sanders?
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
And I proudly stand up next to you all. God bless America.
You said belt to ass, T-Red. You got the belt around you.
Yeah, we're in the building. It is Work Boot Wednesday, so fire up your hard hats and work boots and tap in, chime in, and we'll be here for 3 hours on a loaded lineup. We got former NFL tough guy, rookie of the year, Miami Dolphin legend AJ Duhe joins us. Plus, we got Andrew Schlecht, insider for the OKC Thunder as they get ready to tip it off against the Indiana Pacers. And we have an Indiana Pacers insider, former NBA player, and Pacer himself and analyst Eddie Gill joins the show. So we got a loaded lineup, back-to-back guests. So tap in, chime in, and can't wait to get this party started. Let's dive right into it. Another one bites the dust. Yeah, in professional sports as the Knicks fired Coach Tom Thibodeau in a shocking move for some, not so shocking for others. Just 3 days after they were eliminated by the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, which were their first since 2000, contrary to belief. Player empowerment, again, has driven this league to bad ratings. Mike Malone in Denver, after winning it all, was fired. So this is par for the course now in the NBA, in the NFL, and in Major League Baseball. We got NHL hockey's teams firing their head coaches during seasons, etc. When players run the show, you will not only have a shittier product on the court, on the field, or on the ice, but you will continue to see this type of act year in and year out in professional sports. Tibs will be hired again somewhere, and the Knicks are flirting with disaster with this next hire. This is a full-on crapshoot, and they better get it right. They better bet right, because this could be the last Eastern Conference Finals they see for another 25 years if they get it wrong. The Dodgers, the Doyers, get by the Mets in 10 innings on the bat of who else but Freddie Freeman. And we get ready to have another Stanley Cup showdown tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. But what do I know? Eddie Gill, former NBA player, current Indiana Pacers analyst, Fox Indiana, will join us in about 30 minutes. We got AJ Duhe, former NFL and Miami Dolphin Rookie of the Year, will join us at about an hour after that. And then we got Andrew Schlecht covering the OKC Thunder. He's a executive podcast producer for The Athletic, and he hosts the Saturday Slam and Jam on Athletic NBA show. He'll be joining us. But before that, our Far East Sider and Naptown legend, LeBron Hairline Having and Lamar Jackson Lovin', AR5 defending, Fox Sports' very own Caitlin Clark-Jockin, Big Smitty.
Yeah. It's kind of dark right now. By my hold on. It's kind of dark by my eyes.
You don't have no light, homie?
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Smitty, man. I got my young man JB, young man Bailey in the background. I'm the old head of this show now, not by age, by experience, by acumen, by all other things, man. But listen, it wouldn't be us without people like Luigi Blanco, Sober Perk, Cadbury Combre R, Boston Richie Fly Ride 805, and Devin Knudsen. We got new members. People I ain't never heard of my entire life is in the show right now, and we appreciate y'all.
Bailey, I just sent you a DM on Instagram. Put that in if you can. Yeah, I couldn't even type for like the last 10 minutes on the chat, so I don't know what's going on with StreamYard or Instagram.
You're probably getting hacked, homie. Just call me next time if you can't type. I just saw what you put in there. I did not get that over to him.
Yeah, I know you didn't. I did though. Because
I figured you already did, like, because you didn't want to send it to me in the first place.
Yeah, I know. But you don't prep tomorrow today.
I know, but I just thought you would have already sent it since you were the one who found it and sent it over to me.
Yeah, because I'm always ahead. I'm a producer.
Right. So it's expectations.
Oh, well, how's that work? How's that work? So like I would be like considered like, let's just say I'm not the CEO, I'm the executive producer, and then what Bailey would be like what? He would be the director if we were on a film, and then you would be like the slash actor for film producer. You would be like, right? Is that how that would work? If it was like us three running a show,
it was if it was an actual show, like
a TV, like a movie. My bad.
Oh, a movie, yeah. A movie, then yeah, I'd be like the actor, basically. You know what I'm saying? I would still want to get some producing credit because we do have meetings, quarterly. We talk through segments and things like that. But I'm not responsible for putting together the rundown anymore. I used to when we first joined back in the days. But no, so I'm just straight acting. I get a producer credit. You be the executive producer because this is your name, your likeness, and your show, your baby. Also an actor. And then Bailey will be more like a director / producer as well in terms of just, making a thing flow. So in a movie.
Yeah, we got a lot to dive into. It's going to be a shocker start of the show probably for a lot of people out there. So if you're not ready on a Work Boot Wednesday to strap in because we got guests in about 20 minutes. So we're going to have a little fun right out the gate. And I got to start off with some fun. And I'm just going to ad-lib it, Smitty. So you just got to roll with me before we get to the quote of the day. So we're going to do this for like 10 minutes, quote of the day. And then we got a guest on after that. So we got a little banter to get to before we get to the quote of the day and the poll question. Smitty, I got a ghetto word of the day real quick. That's going to tie right into a little video that I want to show you called Real Talk or Jaw Jacking.
All right.
That's about a 2-minute video I want to show you. So it's going to all tie in. And then I got something to show you with an update on somebody that you got into it with yesterday on this show live. So that'll be like the criteria. So everybody just strap in. If you don't, strap in right now because it's about to go down on the realest show on planet Earth. Smitty, the ghetto word of the day today is Tide.
Like Tide, like detergent Tide, like the brand Tide.
Like roll Tide.
Roll Tide, like Tide.
Roll Tide, homie. Like roll Tide, like yeah.
That's like some regular. That's just Tide. Like it's not ghetto at all.
Do you use Tide in the hood? We grow on Tide.
Yeah. What do I use in there? I think I use Tide. I think is that Tide, the orange container. Is that Tide? That's Tide. Yeah, Tide. I use Tide. Tide.
Well, look, Bailey, show the video we're gonna show real quick. I want you to show the video. Just put it up. Don't just show the girl that I want to show, the topic of discussion if you can. When you pop it up, just fast forward to that white girl. What's her name? That fucked 1,000 guys in an hour or whatever. Her right here. Yeah. Smitty, this is why I came up with the word today, Tide. Because of her. I gotta be real. I'm sick and tired of these hoes.
I knew you was going there.
I'm sick and tired of these hoes, Smitty. And I gotta be honest with you. I want you to hear this broad, and I want to do a real talk jaw jacking segment right now. And I got you, let you hear this because we're on a rapid pace Wednesday. Sick and tired of these hoes today. I gotta be real with you. Listen to this video for just a. We'll cut it short if we have to, Bailey. But I want Smitty to hear this shit, and it's rapid fire. So take a listen, Smitty.
Allowing 1,000 penises into one vagina in 12 hours is disgusting.
But the more you talk about it, the more it turns me on.
You'd fuck an old man.
Oh yeah, of course I would. Old men deserve sex. I mean, the wife might be dead. I don't discriminate whether you're married, 18 or 80. I'll take anybody.
Out of the 1,000 men, there was a lot of barely legal boys. Do you not have a problem with the fact that they're literally borderline underage?
No, because they're 18.
But they're still children.
Yeah, but they're 18. I'd happily take someone like on their 18th birthday. Like, no problem.
How old
because
are
they're
you?
18, 25.
My nephew's 18. He's still a child.
I'll send him to me then. Hopefully I'll find him in my queue one day. It's hard work being a slut. Like, I've earned the title.
So you enjoy being called a slut? So do you condone cheating?
Yeah.
And if you had a daughter and she said, you know, Mummy, I want to be just like you.
Yeah.
And you'd be happy and you'd watch your daughter just f everyone.
Yeah. I will raise my daughter to be independent and to follow her dreams. If that is to 1,000 people, I'll be there with a banner supporting her the whole way. Like, I love the idea that I don't know who's going to be inside of me. There was times I was in doggy and I'd turn around and I would have no idea who's in the back of me. And I love that.
That's disgusting. Like, you're a pretty girl. You could have gone into modeling, you could have gone into acting.
You turning around,
influencer.
It's also very hard to get into that.
So it's people.
Not really. Like, I love that and that's what I've got passion about.
If that's really your thing that you get off on, you just go and do it in private.
Why do I need to do it in private? I'm proud of it.
Yeah, but
it's
you
like
shouldn't
going, oh, I've done an amazing piece of art, but I should hide it away.
But it's not, because doing art and becoming a cum bucket is two completely different things. Yeah.
I feel empowered when I'm disrespected by over 1,000 men. Like, I have to remind them, spit on me, slap me, choke me, pull my hair, because they're too polite to me.
What you're doing is so damaging to women as a woman.
Oh, women
not
find everything to complain about.
Not
They'll
really.
cry about anything and everything nowadays.
So your family support what you do?
Super supportive.
So they don't like you?
No, they're super supportive.
But they don't like you?
Sorry, should I sit here and cry that?
I don't want you to
God,
cry.
I took 1,000
it's not.
guys.
It's not about crying. You don't need to sit and cry that you fucked 1,000 guys. But there's a thing called shame, and we should probably bring that back.
Then I don't really see why people judge it.
Well, they are judging you, yeah, because it is disgusting what you're doing. But that's just a fact. Again, it's not a judgment. I'm not.
No, that's your
it's
opinion.
Not my opinion. No, that's
opinion
a fact.
and facts are very different.
Yeah, exactly. My opinion is that I think you're actually a really pretty girl. My fact is that you are a whore and you are a prostitute. That's a fact.
Homie, before we get into the nuts and bolts, the edit, that shit's hilarious. Like, it just kept going though.
Yeah,
like, it was like 10 minutes.
Like three. It's usually like 3 of those, and it's over. Yeah, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I mean, that's why I wanted to do it. Real
Somebody
talk.
gotta edit some of me and you going back and forth and just do that for us.
Exactly. That's what we need. Johnny the trucker or whatever.
Yeah,
Tell that motherfucker to do that instead of all that other bullshit.
Bobby the trucker. Yeah.
Smitty, I want to hit the interviewer.
Interviewer is an attractive woman. I think she would be good for you.
Yeah, I want to fuck shit out of her. The other one, though, is a run-through hoe. So that's why, I'm sick and tired of these hoes. Here's the issue. I don't judge. We don't judge. I don't judge. God said don't judge. So I could give a squirt a piss less about this broad right here. She's already known. She's doing this for clicks and likes. She's blanking her name, I guess. That's what she's doing. That's her content, apparently, that she chose to go down that path. And that's going to be her, I guess. What do you call it? Her line of content that she chooses to go get. So, Smitty, real talk by the interviewer or jaw jacking by the interviewer?
No, it's definitely real talk by the jaw jacker. And even Bonnie here, that's her name, Bonnie, she's agreeing with most of it. She's admitting that, like,
oh yeah, she's all in.
I am a prostitute.
She's all in.
That I am a hoe. She's a proud hoe.
She's all in.
And like, she wants to be that. So it's not even a question if it's real talk or jaw jack. It's definitely real talk.
Would you hit? Would you be in line when they got the 1,000?
No, that's disgusting. My shit wouldn't even wake up. The thing about it is we live in a culture right now where it's popular to be a hoe. It's like we've made hoe culture popular and sexy. And like now people will see this and just want to do it. Why? Because one, they see the money in it from OnlyFans, from
why though?
platforms. because like
they see this, right? They see this, like the younger kids on their youth.
It's not even about that. It's the access and the ability to be able to go. It's the ability to go to an OnlyFans and make a quick money from just showing my body off real quick.
Right.
It's the
Like
ability
influence.
It's the ability to be able to go fart in a can. Just it's the easy access to just make money. Put it like
I'm
that.
saying they influence though. They're influencing and they get you to look at it and and then other people will do it. Kind of like how the NFL.
I don't think it's fully that. I just think we made a culture where people don't look at sex as this intimate thing that you should say for your husband or if you're a man now you say it for your wife or like we've made it to where like it's okay to just go fuck around with anybody all day long unprotected. It don't matter. Like it's just like
would you call her a groomer?
No,
really.
No, I wouldn't call her a groomer because again, my the thing where we disagree at, and I knew you were trying to do that. I'm so ahead of everything. I caught you like 5 minutes ago. The difference between me and you is again, I believe parents should raise their kids. So if you're allowing a porn star to have that much influence over your kid, you failed as a parent. That's just my opinion. So
you think parents control all their kids' cell phones?
No, of course not. They ain't control my cell phone, but your parents should have my parents have the strongest influence over me, though. Like I'm who I am because I have good parents. If you have good parents,
you're saying plural parents. A lot of these cats don't have parents.
Well, let me be. I don't want to get into all my details, but my father. I mean, he was there for a period of time, and he wasn't there. I'm just keep like that. I love my father. Being honest.
But here's the thing. Yesterday, you said the NFL wasn't grooming our youth with the Pride Month stuff, and then you don't believe this is grooming. And I'm trying to figure out. I think you don't understand what grooming is then, because like this is clearly what she's doing. Like she's grooming young girls to look at her as a role model. That's what grooming is, homie.
But I guess what I'm saying is that if that's the case, anybody who's in any sort of profession or doing anything wrong that they shouldn't be doing that we see is technically a groomer then by definition. I mean, any porn star ever that we've talked about is a groomer. Anybody who goes rob a bank is a groomer. Anybody who goes steal from the fast food place is a groomer. Because we see it all.
Stop being micro with it. Stop being micro with it. If a guy robs a bank, he's not filming himself to show everyone else, homie. Stop. Jeez. No, they're not. So it's not the same thing. Not the same thing. No, what? No, I didn't say. I said him filming it, not you filming it.
These dudes broke out of jail and on FaceTime. I'm sure you're seeing it.
No, yeah. But you catching me robbing a bank is wholly different than me showing everybody I'm robbing a bank. There's a difference in that, and that's what the grooming part of this is. She's filming herself with guys in line,
money though,
waiting to crack it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's her content. That's her content. So again, another nobody who needed to get in the limelight and make herself feel like a somebody. And listen, I'm not a psychologist. That's Lucy and them in the chat. I'm not into all that, sociologists, psychologists. I don't know any of that shit. I don't really care about trying to act like I am. I'm not even going to judge the broad. Each his own. I really don't care. Like, you go ahead and fuck whoever you want. Obviously, there's a lot of motherfuckers that were in that line to want to fuck also. So the reason I'm saying that, I'm not going to dive into what she did as a kid and what happened to her as a kid. I don't know. So I'm not even going to fucking dive into that shit. But this is her job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's clearly doing it. So that's her job, homie. And now her job is to, I guess, show the world that this is what she wants to do. And she's proud of it. So listen, one thing about me, stand on business. I respect it more than I will you lying in front of us and then later on finding out you was fucking 1,000 hoes or dicks. Hey, she owns it, Smitty. She owns it. She owns it. I respect it.
Now I'll say this real quick since you brought it up. What the NFL doing is more so grooming than what she's doing. If we're gonna bring up the two, because NFL is literally like putting out an ad and like pushing that football is gay, football is cool. Like that's real direct. So if you say that's grooming, fair. I understand that. This is just what she do. Like she's not necessarily like promoting, hey, little girls, be me. Go fuck it out the eye. She didn't say, no, this is what I do. And I agree I'm not hiding from it.
I agree to that. I agree to that. I just don't know if subliminal messages, though, are the ones that are sitting in our face. Like, I don't know how many. I guarantee it. Now, I don't know if it's 1. I don't know if it's 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But there's girls that look to her and say, I'm going to be like her. Guarantee it. That's just what it is. That's just what it is.
Does that make her a groomer, though? To me, I don't know. To me, groomer is what people are calling like Diddy to Cassie. Groomer's like, I have a preconceived plan, and I'm trying to turn you into something else. It's kind of like
here's the only part I agree
to a hoe. It's like
the only part I agree with, or like that the interviewer, she said, why not do it in private then?
You can't make the money.
And she said, no, but she was like, why? I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
That's a groomer. See, when you become proud of what you do and film it and put it out there for everyone else to see is what is literally the definition of a groomer. I do agree to that part. If you do like fucking everybody, go ahead and do it. Or do it on a porn. Do it on porno. Do it on a porno like everybody else.
The money don't make sense. The money ain't the same. Like, why would you go through a third party porn where you got to wait on them for you got this. Like, she makes more money doing it herself.
But
it don't make sense.
That's my point. She's not doing it other than why? To make money, right? To make a name.
Like,
that's
her making it private.
But I get it. But porn stars came that way. Porn stars went online. You couldn't do it unless you had access, right? And then it goes back to parenting that you mentioned. Guess what? If I find your ass on a porn site, motherfucker, I'm beating that ass or whatever until you're a certain age, right? So we weren't allowed to go on phones or computers and pull up. Yeah, exactly. So she's doing it. What? So where you're right in your face. So that to me is a groomer. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you did there, I get it. It's right here now.
It's just different.
It's right here now. So it's different than it was back in the day where you had to go into a studio, film, get part of a production team, be on some sort of porn business. It is what it is. But let's move on real quick because I got something else I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Joe Accord came on here yesterday, one of our longtime listeners and fans and contributors. And he also came on. He wanted to say something else since he's not here live. So take a listen.
Look, I know I'm not on some weird shit. Fuck it, but every time I do a little shot, I start getting this extra sense. I can hear hella good. And I know I fucking heard my bitch in one of these fucking rooms fucking some dude. I live in a sober living house with 16 dudes, right? And I know she's in there banging somebody. Oh, every time I want to fucking feel good, she has to fucking ruin my high by fucking one of these dudes. So I'm like, maybe it's just in my head, so I walk outside to collect my fucking thoughts, right? Get some fresh air. When I walk out here, bam, this Ring camera. I start hearing her fucking somebody. Huh. Man, I don't know if you can hear it on the phone, but I hear that motherfucker. I'm gonna catch one of these motherfuckers.
First of all, I don't get hit with the sound, but that motherfucker sounds exactly like Joe. He looks exactly like Joe.
Just like him. The eyes, the cadence, the tone.
Homie, he sounds exactly like him. He looks exactly like him. I gotta say it's him. Number one.
Really him with tattoos.
Number two. Fuck. This shit irks me, man.
What happened?
I guess I'm gonna have beef with Joe now because the main reason you and him have beef is why?
Because my was a fucking tornado in Indy and he didn't tell my family.
Came over and told me that the Indiana Pacers, who were flying into OKC for game one of the finals, they couldn't make it. They had to divert their flight over to Tulsa. So, Oklahoma, right? That's quite the arrival.
Motherfucker fucked us again, homie. We almost didn't have a fucking NBA Finals because Joe couldn't figure out where the fucking tornado was, homie.
You trying to kill my Pacers, homie?
You telling me he couldn't tell us there was a tornado coming, homie? He was going to fly right into OKC, homie?
And I knew you knew because it's your hometown, homie. It's OKC. So I knew you knew about this, and you didn't tell us?
They diverted it to Tulsa?
They did the fucking Pacers have to circle the city, circle the state for like an hour because the weather was so bad, homie. Come on, it's going too far now, Joe Court. Whatever beef you got with me, this show with JB, it should not go off to the point where you're trying to murder the Pacers. You want to kill Halliburton, homie? Pascal Siakam? Neesmith? Coach Carlisle? The drugs is going too far. You going too far, Joe. We're at a point now, Joe, where I don't think we can ever recover from this. Don't message me. Don't DM me. Don't apologize. It's a wrap, homie. Fool me one time, shame on me. Fool me 2 times, shame on you. Fool me 3 times, you know the rest, homie.
I got to move on. I got to try to move on and move the show along. I got to try to just act like I didn't see that Joe kind of tried to do that to an NBA franchise. I'm going to move on. I'm going to act like it didn't happen, and we're just going to move on, man.
That hurts.
So, let's get to quote of the day, Smitty, brought to you by BetUS TV. Head on over there today and use the promo code Coach JB. Smitty, the truth about ourselves is what we choose to believe.
I like that. That's
that is just a fact, homie. The truth about ourselves is what we choose to believe.
It's all mental. That's basically what you're saying.
Mental, man. Make it make sense, man. I believe that I can do, or I can believe I can't.
To me, God didn't make us with like limitations per se. Like God didn't make JB and say, JB, you can do this, but you can't do that. Like, nah, I think He gives us our freedom. He does give us our gifts, but it's our mindset and our work that determines our direction and our path. Continue, man. This is great.
Contrary to belief, brought to you by BetUS as well. I'd rather be a truth-telling villain than a sugar-coating hero.
Ooh,
contrary to belief. That's just me in general, Smitty. I'd rather be a truth-telling motherfucking villain than a sugar-coating hero.
But if you're a hero, though, that means that you're saving people, though. If you're a hero, though, by definition, that means you're like saving people or saving something. So, like, even if you're sugarcoating, the ultimate impact that you're having is to save people. So I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
You don't have to agree. It's just contrary to belief. Poll question, Smitty, real quick. Let's dive right into it. Did the Knicks do the right thing? You got 2 minutes. Go.
No, I don't think they did the right thing. They made it somewhere they haven't been in 20 plus years. It's the furthest they've been in since, before Bailey was born. So like
25 years,
25 years to be exact. I was 6 years old last time they were in this position. And yeah, they just ran to a better team. Now, are there some things that we hope or wish that Coach Tibs can improve on, like going into his bench a little bit more, having more depth? Sure, but we've been said that. We've been knowing that about Coach Tibs forever. And his style, say what you want to say about it, got them further than they've been in 25 years. So it's worked. Now, it didn't work enough to get to the biggest game of the year, but I don't know if that's Coach Tibs or if that's just, hey, they need another piece or they need something else. It's hard to make it to in the NBA Finals. I always say this about football. It's hard to make it to a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, there's one team that's going to win it every single year. It doesn't mean that you got to change everything, lose your coach, trade your star player. It's not always the case. I think Coach Tibs is a hell of a coach. There's some adjustments that he probably needs to make, but more importantly, he probably needs like one more piece to go alongside Jalen Brunson, who you can like fully depend on. So I just think it was the wrong move, and he'll be picked up, I'm sure, in the next couple months.
Yeah, I don't get the move, but when Mike Malone's fired after winning a title, then of course this is going to be the next move. This is what it is in professional sports now. This shit is crazy to me. But fucking Towns got this man fired twice.
You think so, homie?
He really got this motherfucker fired twice. Look at that shit, homie. I didn't even realize until I was like, fuck, didn't he get him fired in Minnesota too? Sure did. Sure did. He sure did. That motherfucker is so goddamn soft. He won't take no credibility, no accountability for anything he does on defense. And I know Brunson loved Tibs, regardless of the rest of the crew, and I think Hart loved them as well. Those are the nuts and bolts of that team and that franchise going forward. I think Hart will obviously be tradable. Brunson's obviously not, but Towns, this is the key right here. Can they get rid of this guy and some other parts to get a Giannis, to get a KD, I guess, but I don't like that move. But there's some other guys maybe floating around, Smitty, but I would have to say Giannis is number one on the board if I'm the Knicks.
You got to believe that Tibs and Cat have a good relationship, though. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been traded to the team after he already had him. If it was that bad, if this feel like he really got fired because of him in Minnesota, why would I approve for that same player to come to me in New York? It makes zero sense.
I've been listening to people, though. He's not necessarily approving anything. I think this is a franchise that you've known. If you listen to Charles Oakley or any of these people that have been kicked out of the arena, he's a legend in the own arena. the owner there is an absolute piece of work. Everybody out there will tell you the owner is a piece of work. He does what he wants to do on his own accord when he wants to do it. I don't believe that this had anything to do with it. I don't think Tibs necessarily because listen, here's the thing. To your point, he either loved him in Minnesota and said, this guy can help me win, so let's get him, or he didn't like him and they brought him there in that trade. Because remember when the trade went down, remember he came out and wasn't not happy. He was like, because he lost some pieces. I think he thought whether it was Randall.
I don't remember, so I don't want to lie.
Yeah, whether he thought Randall was the piece they needed to move forward or what have you. Bottom line is they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, first time in 25 years. He's a part of it.
I'll be real. Cat was hooping in this series too. Like I know it's fun to like make fun of him, and I've done it before too. But Cat was hooping in this series.
Yeah, but he had 2 good point production games. Everything else though on defense was horrible, Smitty. Like
I know we're saying that now because like that's what's popular and people are talking about it. But like during the series, people was not like, oh my gosh, Cat's defense is such like it wasn't. Y'all acting like he was on some Luka energy. It wasn't that type of situation. Like it's not like the guy.
I agree. I don't even think.
You know what I'm saying? I think right now everybody like we're seeing the articles that internally they're saying people are frustrated about defensive packages, but I watched the whole series. It was nothing that was just like alarming. Like, damn.
Here's what alarming.
What are you doing? It was
the alarming part was the softness that he plays defense with. It wasn't that he didn't move his feet and getting blown by like Luka. Or maybe I don't know what you call Luka's defense, whether Luka's unwilling to or incapable of. I don't know which one Luka possesses.
Right.
Unwilling, incapable. I don't know. Cat was unwilling because of to me, you can't give a cat a heart transplant, not in the professional level, not this late in the game. You've already been there. You've already gone too far. I can't give you a heart transplant. You got to find that shit on your own. He lost his heart, whether it was in Minnesota and never made it to New York and on FedEx or something, but he definitely lost his heart in this series on defense. That's the bottom line that I saw. He's going to score, Smitty. By the way, the other team, if you look in any series they played, have no matchup for him. There's no more bigs anymore like him that can go down the bottom in the paint and get 10 boards and put them all back. They didn't have Miles wasn't going to stop him. And our boy Siakam ain't that body to go down there with him. He's more of a perimeter edge 3 extended 4 guy. So I don't see them having a body. The series before, Detroit had nobody for him. So like I'm just saying, I don't think in this era that there's a guy that's going to go down there with him. He's bigger, he's fat, he's stronger, he's more athletic. He's a unbelievable talent. But damn, homie, on defense, this shit looks so goddamn soft. I'm like,
I thought all series long people were talking about Brunson's defense being a liability and the Tibs having to bitch him a couple of times, and some of the Knicks' best runs in this series is when Brunson was on the bench because their defense was better. And I like Brunson. I'm just being honest. Like that was the conversation. Now the series is over. They're no longer talking about Brunson's defense. Now they're talking about Cat's defense. It's just interesting how the conversation has like shifted. And I'm not trying to be like a Karl Anthony Towns defender. Yeah, he's definitely can improve in some areas, but I just feel like, damn, like they made it to a place further than they've been in the last 25 years, and he's a huge reason because of that.
Let me ask you this though. Is it even more glaring or more obvious that we're talking about defense because the 2 teams in it have the number 1 and 2 ranked defense in the NBA? See, that's the thing you don't understand. The OKC Thunder have gone down in history books now with one of the greatest defenses on paper in the history of NBA playoff teams. Yeah. So the OKC Thunder, everyone out there is like, wow, this team has one of the best defenses ever. And the Indiana Pacers were the long, athletic, perimeter savvy defense that in this playoffs beat who? Beat Cleveland and beat all these teams. And everybody's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Because in the regular season, the Pacers were not a top defense.
So defense.
Like playoffs, though, they figured something out.
What was the issue when the Rams, greatest show on turf, goes to New England and only puts up 10 points and losing a Super Bowl? And everyone's like, damn, that team was scoring 40 a game, and then New England scores the 40. What was the glaring part? Now all of a sudden you have what was the problem? Oh, you couldn't stop them one more time. hold up, this was an offensive team. Now they couldn't stop New England with that because New England's defense held the Rams in check, which was dominating all year long, and they only scored 10 points or whatever it was, whatever that game was, 10-7, 13-10, I don't know. But that was the Super Bowl, so guess what? Now all of a sudden, your offense is shitty. No. The fucking team that played defense won a championship. As you and I know, Smitty, defense wins championships. Mm-hmm. So now the defense of these two teams in the finals makes sense. Now, guess what? The defense is, I guess, a defensive crutch for the other two teams had now been a liability. Now it's showing up, and now everyone's going to say it's Brunson's fault, it's Towns' fault, it's whatever, because their defense looked bad. I mean, that's just what it was. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Tomorrow, that game starts off. We'll tip it off tomorrow on this Truth Telling Thursday when the NBA Finals begin. But tonight, you got some NHL Finals. The Stanley Cup start. Florida-Edmonton rematch. Edmonton's going to try to get some get-back, Smitty. And so hopefully.
Game one tonight is in, I think it's in Edmonton. Edmonton, they're at home. It's going to be a hell of a series, man. It's going to be a hell of a series. I think it's going 7 this year for sure, again. And we'll see. I made my prediction a little later, but
I'm rooting for America, Florida, get it done again. Unless Canada wants to come over here. I
like Canada. Actually, I met a Canadian lady yesterday at this little podcast.
I love French Canadians.
I just know Canadians are just nice people. Every Canadian I've ever met, seriously, they're just super nice. I'm being real with you.
A lot of gay too. A lot of gay.
I've met none of them. I've just been straight, just nice, just good
but
people.
Toronto, French Canadians, and Montreal. Oh man, it might be the baddest bitches on planet Earth. Might be.
I've been around planet Earth enough to say that.
I've been to Toronto and Montreal. Trust me. I mean, I played arena ball there. That motherfucking shit.
At that time, you had never been anywhere though, but like LA. So
I lived in Amsterdam.
So for you, it was like, oh my god, it was like a new thing,
Smitty, I already lived the whole
what was it like being in red light district?
Different.
Is that a real thing?
It is a real thing. It's clean as fuck.
Really?
Oh yeah, like Bonnie Blue or whatever her name is. She could literally she'd be fine. She'd be like a Beverly Hills there. It's like clean. You could fuck there clean.
So does it work where like you're literally walking down this alley and you're just seeing women in the windows like come here and like
they're just it's legal. So it's
it's
nothing to hide. You could just it's lit and they're like legit looking like it's pretty decent. Now there's some ugly ones too.
How much they cost?
It depends on if you like, we want them overnight or whatever.
What
I don't know
when you was doing it.
I never did it. I never bought pussy in my life except for Taco Bell. But other than that, here's the thing. What the red light district is what's different is everything's hemp. So everywhere you go is hemp. So like the turkey sandwich spot we used to go to, it was hemp turkey sandwich, hemp shake, hemp, all this shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? They make it all. And I've told this story before, but they make it all. Then when they run out of hemp, they go right next door. Each market or each store has a police station right next door, and they're the ones that distribute the weed to the businesses, and then they take the weed. So it's all controlled, and the amounts of how many grams or however fucking weed works, ounces are allowed each store to use. And then when they out, they go next door to the police station and get the weed. Homie, that shit is the craziest shit I've ever been in. I don't know how it is anymore, but this was a long time ago. But, it was fun, man. I'm not a big Euro guy, but it was fun. Always gloomy, gray, and it reminded me of San Francisco every day. And it was weird. It's like some weird motherfuckers up there. Some weirdo fucks.
They took good care of you, though, man. So shout out to them, man. Allowed you to come out there, make money. And
Not really. My agent found out they
another country.
Not really, because I didn't know. And my agent realized, wait up. Euros ain't the same as American dollars.
Duh. I should have been knowing that, homie.
Right. Well, it wasn't.
It's on y'all, homie.
No. There was way more contractual issues to it. We were supposed to get American transfer money over. They were supposed to equate it over in certain other deals, and they never did. A lot of Americans left for that reason. So
read the dotted line, homie. Smitty. Your Pacers think they come into the Thunderdome and not expect a storm? Our time. Shout out to the chat and OGs. $4.99.
Good comeback, Eddie. Joe. A pretty good comeback right there.
It's a little corny.
But he got you with the storm, and he used like that. You know what I mean? Like he used all the things.
He used all. But it's still, but two things can be true. It can be good and corny though. At the same time.
It was corny, but he used all the stuff we did against you.
I hear you. Against us, because you said you were mad at him too. So
what would you do like one-on-one if you saw him was walking down the thing, and like, would it be like a friendly like Joe, or would it be like fuck? Like what do you think if like you saw him?
It just depends on his energy, homie.
Got you. Hey, but speaking of energy, man, we got a speaking of the Knicks getting eliminated first time in 25 years, 25 years ago as well. This man was drafted in an NBA draft. And then he was on the New Jersey Nets, I believe, when our Kobe-led Lakers beat the Jason Kidd-led Nets in the finals. So can't thank him enough. He's a Indiana Pacers insider, an analyst working at Indiana's Fox. Has something in common with Big Smitty here. So let's, without further ado, our main man, former NBA player and current Pacers analyst, Eddie Gill, joins the show. Eddie, how you doing, brother? I appreciate you.
Eddie?
I'm good, my man. I appreciate you guys having me.
Look at that Indy. See, that's that Indy right there that I made on the show.
That's the real Indy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the real Indy, JB.
No, so my Indy's the real Indy. I made it.
I'm born and raised Indianapolis, Indiana, Naptown 317. Live in LA now. My coach JB used to coach, JUCO at a college, Independence, which he called Indy. And I would always get confused when I first met him, because I hadn't seen the Netflix show first when we first met. So when he would say Indy, I would get confused. I'm like, hold on, did you coach in my city? Because we're Indy. I don't know about no Independence. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, Eddie, you understand? You're a JUCO product, correct?
No doubt.
Yeah, love
No
it.
doubt.
See, Eddie already knows. He gets it. It's marketing, branding. I had to make JUCO attractive. I had to make JUCO attractive to get Eddie Gill to come to fucking Utah. See what I'm saying? So,
JUCO raised me.
Hey, where'd you go? Salt Lake Community College?
Before that, I went to College of Eastern Utah, and then I went to SLCC. Yeah.
And at that time, there was like in Utah, you got snow. It used to be Dixie, right? Oh, that's
Dixie.
Idaho. That was Idaho, huh?
Yeah. Well, Dixie's in like southern Utah.
Okay. So yeah, that's right. Yeah. So then, and then you got BYU, Utah State, and Weber, right?
Well, yeah, that's the D1s, and then you got Southern Utah University also.
Southern,
those are the D1s, but yeah, and the JUCO Region 18 was what we played in. Yeah, but it was us.
So who'd you guys play? The Arizonas?
Nah, we had mostly Utah schools.
Oh, really? There's that many JUCO, but they don't play football though. That's the difference, I guess. Like you only play basketball, huh?
Some of them played football, but we didn't. My school did not have. Actually, neither one of my JUCOs, CEU and Salt Lake Community, neither one of them had football.
Yeah, see the Kansas Jukes who are known for both football and basketball as well. The Kansas Jukes, a lot of them that the good ones don't play football either. There's a shitload of JUCOs in Kansas, Smitty, that don't play football either, that are just basketball schools. So it's crazy. But Eddie, man, thanks for coming on, man. I know you got your Pacers here in the finals. Smitty's grew up watching them, obviously. Where you at with this matchup, man? Two long perimeter defensive playing teams who can hit the three. Are you happy to see this matchup between them and OKC? Are they the two best teams right now, obviously, in the finals, but are these two the most deserving teams this year?
Yeah, I would say OKC has been the best team in the league throughout the season from start to finish. And I would say the Pacers are probably right there with them in terms of the hottest team throughout the playoffs. Yeah. Right. So you talk about getting hot at the right time. That's exactly what the Pacers have been able to do.
No doubt. Is it going to come down to them still in a game on the road in OKC like they have throughout these playoffs? I mean, they've shocked everybody by winning one, if not two, on the road right out the gate. Are they going to have to do the same thing in this thing?
Yeah, there's no question. They're going to have to do that. And then I think what they did in Game 6 against the Knicks, they're going to have to not just that they won the game, it's how they won the game in terms of how hard they played. Like all the intangibles of the game is what you're going to have to bring on a nightly basis against this OKC team, because they do play so hard. And they just keep rolling dogs off the bench, and they just keep coming in waves. But I think that's also the Pacers' strength as well in terms of their depth.
No doubt. And before Smitty goes off, let me ask you one thing. We saw Thibodeau get fired last night, 3 days after your Pacers beat them. We saw Mike Malone, who just won a title year removed, get fired this year for Denver. Is this, when you played and got drafted in 2000, is this kind of just what is player empowerment tenfold from then till now? Is this a player-driven deal as far as who comes in and coaches, who gets out of coaching? Like, is this player empowerment, or is this just the Knicks and them being, Bill Dolan?
Yeah, real quick, I went undrafted, man. I had to go grind it out and make a team. So just
you went to Vegas, right? You went to the Vegas.
Yeah, man. You name it, I played it.
No doubt. I saw your resume. I'm like, you play everywhere.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to get through it, but I didn't get drafted. I had to go grind it out. But
hey, you made it though. Same thing to me.
Yeah, no, it's all love. I appreciate it. But definitely in terms of like what they're going to do here, in this particular series now, and what they've done. Yeah, I mean it's going to be a fight, right? It's going to be an absolute fight in terms of how they go out and get that done. I think the depth is going to work for both teams. I think that it's going to be a team who has to play each possession at a super high level. Like the game within the game, it's also possessions inside the possessions. Like OKC is a team that gets from one play to the next, to the next, to the next, like as if it's the first play. And that's what the Pacers are going to have to do to compete.
Tyrese Halliburton, I know he was voted, I think, the most overrated player coming, I think, into the season, much his peers. And we've seen how he's been performing throughout these playoffs, man, being a straight just star, going out there playing with no fear at all, clutch shots. I guess you covering the Pacers, are you at all surprised by what we've all been seeing in these playoffs, or is this something that you've kind of expected or known from Tyrese Halliburton throughout the season?
He's done this throughout the season in terms of these big plays, big shots, those types of things. He embraces those moments. But to this level, like we've seen some things that are some historic games in terms of how they've come back, shots that were made. Oftentimes we make hyperbolic comments about, we've never seen this before. We've never seen that before. No, actually, we haven't seen some of the things that this team has done in this playoff stretch. So it's kind of crazy, but in terms of the confidence that they play with, we know how important that is. You're not at all surprised by the ability to own those possessions, own those moments, and take those shots with confidence.
How can the Pacers slow down SGA? Like, I think that's because I look at these two teams and we've talked about it, here. I think there's a lot of similarities, like you said, with the depth. They can both run, they play hard on defense, et cetera. But the one difference is that OKC, they have the MVP. And this guy has been hooping all year long. From your just basketball mindset, what are some things the Pacers can do to at least slow him down and make things difficult for him?
Now, I'll say this. The Pacers right now in the middle of the gauntlet, right? They are going through the gauntlet. When you think about first round, they had to deal with Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
The second round, they had to deal with Donovan Mitchell. In the Eastern Conference Final, they had to deal with Jalen Brunson. Yeah. And now you get the MVP and SGA. So to some degree, you're prepared for this moment, but each of those players are all different in their own right. SGA does it in a variety of ways. He's three-level scorer, gets to the free throw line better than anybody. So I think what you have to do with all great players is you got to get to them before they get to you, in terms of try to get in his face, slow him down, and try to have some influence on where he goes with the basketball. If he's able to play in space and play off of defensive angles, he's going to foul 2 or 3 guys out the game, and he's going to end up with 40, right? So you got to try, and it's easier for us to talk about this via Zoom versus getting on the floor and actually executing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but that's what it's about, right? And when you get to this moment, you got to know it's not going to be easy. It's a challenge, and it's something I think, guys like Nesmith, Nembhard, Ben Shepherd coming off the bench, all those guys are embracing this challenge.
Who's the key in this thing, in your opinion? You got a champion. The only championship coach remaining, obviously, has won one. Sitting there in Carlisle, and then you got a guy like the role players, I guess Siakam, who's won one as well in Toronto. Are those two things going to carry a lot of weight in this thing, or do you see like a McConnell or something being a key that comes off the bench and ends up being there's always something in the finals. We already know in the finals there's always some guy that you're like, damn, whether it's a block shot or something that changes the game. Do you see anything critical, either a bench player or is it like a Siakam who's won one, being the guy to get this done?
Well, we've highlighted the depth, right? That's going to be a battle. Whose depth will kind of really come out stronger than the other. So I think that's a component. Siakam was just coming off of Eastern Conference Finals or not only just a championship,
MVP.
but he's MVP. So don't get it twisted. That guy gets it done. He's not shooting the ball from the logo. He's not running in the lane, jumping all over everybody. He's just killing on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
Very, very strategic in how he's killing people. But I think in terms of the X factors, it sounds like what you're asking. Miles Turner might be that guy. That matchup with him and Hartenstein, keeping Hartenstein off the glass, being able to pull Hartenstein away from the basket with his 3-point shooting ability, and then also OKC sometimes goes to this all guards lineup, right? And it's like Caruso was guarding Nikola Jokic, in the Denver series for not long stretches, but sometimes he was guarding him and he was giving him fits. So they do a lot of different things with that lineup. But I think from a Pacers perspective, Miles could be a difference maker.
How good? Last thing. So how good is that defense? Like how good? They're saying this team is historically great on defense. OKC. How if you as a former player, you're looking at this team, how they switch, how they play the perimeter, like you said, all guard lineup, and a guy going out there and playing a joker like that. How good is this defense from a former player's perspective? Is this defense really like all time high?
Yeah, it's as good as it gets. I mean, I won't compare it to any other defense, but right now they are very good. It's like I like to watch it. I enjoy watching it because of how they just swarm the ball handlers. They just swarm the opposing team, and what you cannot do is try to hold the basketball or pound the air out of the ball because they just corral you, end up turning you over, and they're scoring on the other end. But what and this is the battle of wills, right? This is what the Pacers are really good at: ball movement, player movement, cutting, screen setting, getting the ball up the floor fast, and then transition and trying to probe for something good early. If they don't get something good early, they still move the ball and they put pressure on the defense. So that's what you have to do against a defense like this. When you hold it, it's curtains, right? They're gonna get a stop, and then they're scoring on the other end. You got to try to avoid these 15, 16, 17-point bursts that the Thunder is capable of, and oftentimes it's because teams are holding the ball or dribbling too much.
Yeah, so a question came to me yesterday while I was at work, and I thought it was a crazy question, being a guy who's from Indy and understands the history of the Pacers. But someone said, if the Pacers go on to win this NBA Finals, and we assume Halliburton continues to do what he's doing, does he surpass Reggie Miller as an all-time great Pacer? Because since he's brought a championship to Indiana and Reggie couldn't do it?
In a word, no.
Right.
Because as much as I value championships, I also value tenure, the amount of length, the length of time that you're able to get something done, and then also respect the fact that championships, especially on what we do, it's a team sport. So unless your name is Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, Tiger Woods, championships, as while they mean a lot to me, they mean less to me in terms of an individual legacy. When you're playing a team sport. So
no doubt.
So I don't think he surpasses him, but he's certainly on the right track because he hadn't hit 25 yet. I don't think.
Ooh. Yeah, no doubt. That's it. Let me ask you this. I can't thank you enough for hopping on here this morning. Let me ask you real quick. What favors Indiana in this series? Is it a shorter series, like 5, and them getting it or they have to go to a 7 to win this thing? What do you see favors them, a longer series or a shorter one for them to win it?
Man, that's a good question. They've won it in many different ways. The first couple series they were 4-1, and then they beat Knicks 4-2. But I think based on their resiliency and to get through adverse moments, the longer it goes, I think the greater opportunity they have because they thrive in those moments, right? They thrive against adverse moments. They thrive when their back's against the wall, and it seems like, it doesn't look like they're going to get it done. But the more they hang in and get an opportunity, I think they thrive and have a great opportunity to come out on top.
They got to split though, at least, huh?
Yeah. You're gonna have to get something done in OKC for sure at some point. Whether it's now, whether it's Game 5,
right.
You're gonna have to get something done in OKC's building, and they have one of the most exciting environments throughout the league. I enjoy their building. It's a real collegiate atmosphere.
We do.
OKC is as far as I know, unless there's something going on here I don't know about, it's the only show in town.
Yeah.
But man, they support the heck out of that team. And the Pacers do the same.
It's kind of both ways though. Yeah. They're both like Indiana. It's a little bit more to do in Indiana than OKC, but still, it's you played for the Pacers. That's a basketball city, basketball town.
No doubt.
So it's like two college style environments, man. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, both environments are incredibly fun to play in.
And this team's earned the home court advantage, being the best team in the NBA all year long, like you stated when we started it. And like it's easy to say, well, if they just win their home games, they're the champ. Like in 7, they'll win their home game. Is it that easy though to say that and win your home games against a team like this who's been a road killer this year with the Knicks and Cleveland and so on? So it's gonna be interesting to see this thing unfold. But are you in town watching? Are you there calling it there, or are you at home? Oh, you are?
I'm here. I'm in the hotel right now. They got some media availability later on and practice later, and tomorrow that premium popcorn is going to start popping.
Now, were you on the same flight that was diverted because of a tornado?
Yeah, we circled the city for a minute. The pilot came on. He took good care of us. He tried to land it, just try to avoid the weather. Obviously, it's tis the season here in OKC is what I hear.
Yeah.
Tornadoes and rough storms. So flew around a little bit, try to sneak in where we could. He couldn't do it, so I think we went to Tulsa, fueled up, and then popped back in. So it was fortunate for us, we never felt it. Right, turbulence was kept to a minimum, and I'm grateful they did a good job keeping us out of harm's way.
I'm glad you guys are okay, man. I saw that. I'm like, damn, what's going on, man? We have a weather guy who comes on our show sometime. He ain't even warned us. So I was
he screwed us. He's in OKC and does tornado weather, and he screwed us over. So, man, I can't thank you enough for hopping in here, man. Good luck to your Pacers, and good luck to everything you and the fam is doing. What do you got in the fire right now? What do you got going other than just this right here? Is this your life right now, or you got other things going?
Now, you mentioned family, so wife, 2 kids. My kids are 25 and 23. They're doing their thing, doing an amazing job. My wife runs a private nonprofit school for kids with autism. And then my real job, my real life, I tell people my real job, because I've been doing it over 10 years. I've been in financial planning. See, I got this invest company out of Indianapolis.
Nice.
So that's my real job. And the Pacers blessed me with this ability to show up at night and talk about basketball about 9 years ago.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing. Eddie, we might have to connect, man. One of my guys from Indy plays for the Commanders NFL team, has a company called the Players Company, all about, financial literacy for athletes, transition from the league, post-career. So it might be a connection there. I might put you guys together.
Love it. Yeah. Hit me up. You guys got my number for sure.
All right, brother. I appreciate it, Jenny. Good luck to you guys, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Y'all be safe. Appreciate you.
You too. Brother. Eddie Gill.
Eddie Gill.
Shout it out. He's gonna be calling those Pacers OKC game this
finals
starting tomorrow. So shout out to him coming on. Smitty.
We got to take a break, homie. This is the only time we got.
Eddie, you almost fucked the whole organization, homie. I don't understand it. I don't know how you can come in here today and.
Hey, man, this looks just like him, bro. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm really not trying to be funny. It really looks like him. When you sent me this, homie, yesterday, I was really laughing. Like, this looks just like Mr. Accord. They have to be relatives.
It sounds like him, though.
Sound like him, look like him in the eyes, the cadence. The only thing different is I don't think Joe has, like, tattoos, at least visible like this. That's the only thing. Like, it's almost like he has a twin brother, and his twin brother went the wrong path in life, got locked up, street guy, and Joe tried to keep it clean, but they both got that thing that makes them tick. And it's just they just sound and look the exact same. It's crazy, homie.
What does his chest say?
That's some you would know. That's some jail like gang member shit. You would know that.
Does it say tornado?
Skinhead shit.
Does this spell tornado? We'll be back in 4 minutes. Hey, well, fuck it. I'll go home tonight. I'll drink my yak and smoke my stick, and I'll get it back cracking.
We ain't did it in years. We never do callers. Let's do calls right now and see what we got. Andre Miller. Shout out to Andre Miller, the legend, point guard for a long time. Team Smitty, appreciate you.
Oh, by the way, I talked to Andre. We're going to get Andre on the show.
I know. He's right here. Yeah. Appreciate you.
We're going to get Andre on the show. We're going to get the chat is in the deal. Members only. If you're not a member.
Do members only. Badly. For call-ins. We don't want no lames calling in.
Ricardo, member up.
Member only. Go member only so he can't call in.
Fucking Puerto Rican bitch.
Man, it smells good over there.
I first said Ricardo. Ricardo.
I ain't leave
Is Lucy with you, motherfucker? Lucy. Is Ricardo and Lucy? You don't even Smitty don't even know what I'm referring to.
Yeah, come on now.
T Mixum, the link is out. T Mixum.
Click the link. Hurry up, y'all. Y'all got 1 minute. Or we're gonna change our mind. This fucking weak ass.
Oh yeah, let's go, Joe.
You so lame. What's up? What?
Hey, listen. I have no issue. Let me turn this up. I have no issue with the weather. The Thunder are gonna kick your fucking ass, dude. It's not even close. And you keep talking all this shit about the Pacers. What are they going to do? They're going to lose in 5 fucking games, Smitty. I'll bet you. I'll put a C note in this fucking bet. I'll put a C note in the chat. The moment they lose, first thing. But if they win,
hurry up, homie. You keep hurry up. Say it.
I want you to apologize for talking shit about my Thunder.
How about this? I got you one better. If the Thunder beat my Pacers, I'm gonna beat your ass. How about that?
How about this? That? Indiana wins.
How about that? If the Pacers win, you're gonna give me $100. It's a win-win either way.
Pacers win.
If the Thunder win, I'm gonna beat your ass. If the Pacers win, you give me $100.
If the Pacers win. How about the Pacers win? I leave the show forever. You want to play? You want to play games? You want to play games? I'll play games. I will fucking leave the show forever if the Pacers win. But if the Thunder win, you're gonna apologize to me for being a fucking dick to me.
I ain't gonna do shit. You disrespected me, homie. You disrespected me. It was a tornado in my city of Indianapolis.
That's over, buddy.
You did not
tell
me, and we had.
That's over.
I thought we
made up. From there, you dumbass.
I thought we were cool again, Joe.
You're on the east side of Indianapolis, not the west side, you fucking clown.
I'm talking right now.
You never fucking came to me and asked for me. You never once, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't care about that shit before, and I helped you after that too. So fuck you. I'm just talking about the Thunder, bro. Just talking about the Thunder. You're taking it back. You're taking it personal again about the fucking tornado again. I don't care about that.
That's where this is stemming from, Joe O'Connor. You're still mad about the fucking weather because you got it wrong.
I didn't get it wrong. You never fucking asked me what was going on. I was helping many other people, and I pretty much talked to a lot of people on a fucking tornadoes that day. But not once this Smitty going this. You've been in the Discord 3 times in the last 3 fucking weeks. So shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. It's my show. It's my show. I'll mute you right now.
I'm talking about the Thunder.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. I got the power. Now you talk.
Oh, man. You just here. How about that? That's what the fucking Indiana Pacers are going to do. Kick my ass.
Homie.
Yes, Joe, that was a commercial. What'd you think it was, Joe? Did you think it was live? What do you mean, what was it? It was a commercial, Joe. Great producer extraordinaire made a commercial. Yes, you made it famous. You're famous.
I didn't even see the commercial. I had to go move my car. Was it funny? Was it good?
Yeah, it was perfect.
Cool. Shout out to Joe, man. Appreciate you, Joe. Giving us content. Whoa.
Tread lightly, homeboy.
Is that a threat?
Ricardo. You know you're one call away, right, motherfucker? I got Trump on speed dial, bitch. Ice, baby.
That's not funny, JB. Shit not funny, JB. You got kids out here being separate from their families, homie. Stop talking about that.
It's funny as fuck.
I'm talking about that.
It's funny as fuck.
If you had a family, and I know you ain't got no family.
I'd be
if
legal.
You had a family and you got sent, and your fucking little kid 13 years old, had to stay here, homie, you'll feel different.
No, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't be in another country illegally.
You don't know what you would be. You a hustler. You a hustler, and you somebody who had to get out the. You know how to do everything by the book. You knew everything by the book, homie. You sold drugs. Why they come here? Bang, you robbed. You did all that shit. So if you was the same human being, but you were you was in Mexico, you're born there, and you knew you had the opportunity to come over here and have a better life. Me knowing the Jason that I know, I think your ass could potentially came over here too, homie, to have a better life. Potentially. It don't mean you a bad person. It don't mean you're a criminal.
Would you go over there?
It's not. No, homie. It's better here. It's better here.
No, would you go over there illegally? Would you go over there illegally? Would you go over there illegally? And think? Hold on. It's called illegal. Man, if you go over there, homie, they're gonna throw you in jail or kill you. Do you not understand the concept?
You kill me how by the book you want to be now. Like no, I guess
it's not. It's not.
This is corporate Jason Brown. Like I want the real. I want Compton Jason Brown. I want Jason Brown that got out the mud. You didn't do everything by the book, homie. Be real.
Let me give you some little insight, homie, on how let me give you something how the hood works, homie.
I'm getting mad. I don't want to talk.
So one of these illegals come in my house and I have to smoke them. Guess who gets arrested? Me. Because guess what, homie? California in the United States, guess what they do? They throw in the homeowners in jail now, homie. You know what?
You categorizing all illegals
you talk. Let me give you some facts, homie. So when the illegals come into town and they squat in your house, guess what it is? Guess what? A place like California where you and I live.
What?
Impossible to get them out of your house. So that is what you want. That's what you voted for. Guess what? That's why you guys got your ass whooped, homie.
You overblown stuff. Like
it ain't overblown, homie. It's fact.
You categorize all illegals as criminals.
No.
You
no,
do.
homie. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Being kicked out. All these people who've been living here who ain't caused no fucking issues to America
I don't.
Kicked out because of the handful of criminals that
handful. Stop saying handful.
There's white
millions, millions,
black people who
millions, homie. Stop. Homie. You're so naive, homie, because you're so nice.
Race robs, steal, and kill. Every race does that.
But you're so naive because you're a nice guy and you got a big heart. You're so naive, homie, that I don't think it's gonna happen until it bites you in the ass. That's what the problem's gonna be. And I'm trying to help you out in future. Think about this thing. Understand? You're literally not gonna understand until they take your shit.
I'm not worried about it.
And by the way, 20 million illegals is not normal. And by the way, you're numb to it because you've been told America's for everybody. But guess what? Americans can't do. Go to those countries illegally. Hey, see, that's the thing about it, homie. We've allowed them in for so long that you now think it's the norm, homie. It's not the norm. We got our girls and women are getting raped and fucking assaulted, homie, but no one cares.
That's our old people doing that. Why are you blaming that on illegals? Like that's my thing. That shit is false.
How do you know, Smitty? How do you know?
That shit is.
Are you going through and checking all of them?
You act like all the criminals in the fucking country are just people.
Smitty, how do you know, homie?
How do you know?
I know you're not that dumb. I know you're not that dumb. There's no way you're that dumb. You know? How do you know? Are you
not dumb at all?
Are you vetting them all? Are you vetting them?
You're just saying it because you.
Are you vetting them all?
That's your point.
Are you
betting one of us are, so let's not even say it then.
So guess what I do then, homie? We get rid of them and then come in legally now. Wait, what's so hard about that? Now I know, right?
I just think there's better ways to do it. Is all I'm saying.
What's the better way? Tell me then.
I'm not in a position to do it. I'm not the fucking president.
See, everyone always has a better way, but never can fucking answer the question.
That's not my job to do it. I'm saying
so you don't have a better way.
The better way ain't fucking.
You don't have a better way.
5-10 trucks.
You don't have a better way.
Fucking families and breaking them up.
You don't have a better way.
They're illegal, and
you don't have a better way.
20 years.
See what happens is,
working at Ford and adding.
What happens is you don't have a better way. You just you don't have a better way.
President, we'll never agree on this, Jason. Move on. We'll never.
Problem, not the solution, homie.
Move on, homie.
So guess what? There's two people on the show, you and I.
Yeah.
One of us are going to be the victim of have something happen to one of them, either their daughter, their mom, their wife, or what have you. And the other one's going to sit there and be like, fuck, homie, what's happening? So when I have to smoke somebody because they touched my daughter, my mother, or a friend, because this is what's going to happen. That's just what it is. You're going to sit there and say, what then? Because you didn't have a solution. You just said there's a better way, but you don't have a better way. The better way is getting rid of them and then bringing them in legally like Cisco and everybody else that comes in here and talks about. Guess what? My family had to do it the right way, homie. So why are the Mexicans in the chat that I know down to do it right way and you're against it? It makes no fucking sense,
because we got
homie.
different opinions. I don't have to agree with them because they're fucking Mexican, homie. I don't give a fuck about none of that. My point is human nature. I'm seeing videos of people pulling up in these fucking trucks out of nowhere at motherfuckers' jobs, motherfuckers' houses. People who are everyday folks who ain't doing nothing wrong. Yeah, they got here illegally, but they've been here for 20 fucking years, working normally, normal families. Their kids are American, going to schools, and I don't think it's right to split these motherfuckers up and just throw them back there and say, figure it out. I'm sorry. I'll never agree with that. So when you ask me what's the solution, I haven't sat down on them. That's not my job. I'm not sitting down as a president trying to think of a solution. I'm just saying, to me, there's no way that this is the number one way to do it. That's all I'm saying. And you can say what you want. I will never agree to that because to me, that's just not right. As a Christian man that I am, I don't think that's how you treat people. I don't give a fuck if you're Mexican, white, black, Asian. I don't care what you are. You don't treat people that way. In my
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real.
Saying.
You sound like every Democrat that's currently going and voting and trying to get part out.
All that shit. I'm saying how it feels with human beings. I don't care about Democrats.
We're gonna end it. We're gonna end it with this. Then let them come. Let them come and live at your house, homie.
That's such a homie. No,
it's not.
That's such a stupid response.
No, it's not. Come let them live at your house, homie.
I'm not letting you live in my house, homie, and I know you.
You
What
sound
you
like
talking about? I'm not letting you live in my house.
You sound like Mayor Bass and
I'm not
Newsom.
letting you live in my house.
Oh, so keep them here. Why are we getting rid of them? Why are we getting rid of them? And then I say, hey, guess what, dog? Hey, Steph Curry, you're so fucking pro-immigrant, but then you want to move out and get a ray from Section 8, homie. How about LeBron James? Why are you getting extra security now, homie? Why are you worried about the immigrants by your house, homie? But you don't want to let them live with you, though. It's fucking crazy, homie. Y'all have the answers, but then when it comes down to brass tacks and letting the motherfuckers buy your house, you sure don't want them there. That's
like
crazy, homie.
That's like saying,
crazy,
hey,
bro.
there's a million white people or a million black people who have killed or robbed or destroyed.
No, it had nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with it.
So let's get them all out.
You can't answer the question, homie. You can't answer the question
now because
you don't. Why are you moving the needle, homie? Stop. Address the fact. The fact is that until they come to your house, you want them here. That's the fact.
Even if they come to my house, I'm not gonna say let's kick them all out, motherfucker. What are you talking about?
Let them live with you, homie.
I had a foreign
Let them
dude
live with
drive
you.
my patio at my old apartment.
Let them live with
I don't
you.
think the answer is to kick them all out. If
Hey,
a
homie,
white,
let them live with you then.
I don't say kick them all out.
But let them live with you then, homie. It's real simple. It's real simple.
Move on. It shit makes no sense.
Yeah, get all the homies together and let them move with you,
I don't
homie.
like arguing with people who don't make any sense. What you're saying it makes no sense.
Well, that's how naive. That's
Your
how
answer is
naive
let
you
them
are.
move in with me, so I don't want them to get kicked out of their homes. Let them move in with me because I want them to get kicked out of their homes. Like that.
It ain't their home. It ain't their home. It's our country. It don't make no sense. I mean, you really like micro on this whole topic. But anyway, we'll move on. You don't hear shit. You don't hear shit.
I hear you.
You don't listen though.
I hear you though.
That's BPS, by the way. I've been saying I hear you for 30 years. You know what it does? It just shuts the conversation down to all the homies. I hear you, dog. I hear you. Like when I this is what I hear you used to do. It used to be I hear you came from the OG.
Yeah.
The youngster would be the one that said I hear you, because he was getting told and he didn't want to be disrespectful and say nothing back. So to end the conversation to move on. I hear you, BPS.
I hear you. What we got next, though, man? We got a guest coming up here soon, but we got 15 minutes, man. I think we got to talk about this right here, man. Trey Wingo says that we should be concerned about CJ Stroud not throwing in Texas OTAs, man. Check this out.
So Texans quarterback CJ Stroud is not throwing at OTAs because of shoulder soreness, and the team says they're not concerned. It's just general soreness, and they think everything should be fine. Don't believe that. There's a concern. He hasn't played a football game since January. It is now June, and he has shoulder soreness. If you have shoulder soreness at OTAs and you haven't played in months, no matter what the team says, that's a concern. That's the real situation.
Go ahead, Smitty. Go ahead. I don't.
Now I'm about to ask you. You're the quarterback guru. I mean, Trey Wingo is a respected sports writer. He's been, been in the space since the '90s. So, but at the end of the day, he's just giving his opinion, like we all do. You have a tweet right here that I didn't even see until just now, and you responded and said, it's from throwing daily since January, which most QBs do to get better, and he's now sore from that since he's not in a QB competition anymore. With some emojis. That's your best response I've probably ever seen on Twitter, actually. Like, in terms of it was just like a legit answer. It was no disrespect. It wasn't no calling nobody no bitch or soft or nothing. It's just a good answer. Like, this is let's save this moment as a teaching lesson and learning lesson moving forward. There are cases where you should clap back and do all that, but more times than not, this should be the energy right here. This actually elevates you and your brand, in my opinion. It shows that it shows the side that you like know the game, played it, which I know that, but other people don't always read that because when your response is always motherfucker, then it spews out a different side that people don't get to see. When you come with this energy, to me, it elevates your brand. But go ahead.
So break down my tweet.
You're saying, listen, I play quarterback, I coach quarterback, and when you're the for sure starter for an organization or a team, and it's the offseason, and you're trying to improve some of your mechanics and some of the flaws in which you had in the prior season, knowing that CJ Stroud has somewhat of a sophomore slump, you're going to throw the ball early and often to change some of those habits because those habits take time to break. And when you're throwing the ball consistently week to week, day to day, soreness is something that's going to happen. And since it's just OTAs, this is the time where you can take a day off if need be. He's still there. He's still working out. He's still with the team, still watching film. But he's going to take a day off to rest that shoulder. Doesn't mean he's injured. Doesn't mean he needs surgery. It's not that big of a deal. It's very much what you said.
I like Trey Wingo. I respect for him. Yeah, I like Trey Wingo. Here, the issue is I don't know where he's coming out of, like getting this information, and why he said that to me was a shocker. I don't know why he would like stand on business like he knows. Well, and it's maybe. Like he acted like he didn't like CJ Stroud from the end of January when the season ended after they won and they beat the Chargers and they go and lose the second round game. He acts like they don't work out ever again until OTAs 6 months later. Like, no, homie, quarterbacks get better every day. He's been working on footwork, weight room, arm strength. He's been working on everything. So now that OTAs are here and he's not in a competition, meaning he doesn't need to show anyone who he is, guess what? OTAs that are non-mandatory, especially, he's out there learning, being around the new offensive coordinator, obviously. And there's another part of this thing, too. When you got a new OC, and the new OC knows what he's inherited, which is CJ Stroud, big-time arm, probably one of the more accurate guys in the league, one of the best, prettiest ball throwers in the league. You're more mental at this point instead of physical. I don't need to see you throw a fucking hitch ball 30 times in 7-on-7. I need to see, are you grasping the new offense? Remember, they got rid of Slowick and added a new offensive coordinator, former Ram. So the offense is going to be a lot more probably technical, I would assume. More boot nakeds, more adjustments at the line of scrimmage, more audibles, more flipping the protections, more mic IDs. CJ's learning mentally a lot more, so he doesn't need to be out there throwing right now. If there was a major concern, I think it would have been addressed by now, whether it was through draft, through free agency, or you'd be hearing Aaron Rodgers news. Like, let's keep it funky. Because there's no way that the Texans, not having CJ, aren't going to a veteran right now and looking at Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers if there was something serious. You would have heard that by now. There's obviously I don't believe there's smoke and fire in this case. So I think it's a matter of he'd been working out all year long, and that's what happens. And quarterbacks take some time off to let their arms rest. It is what it is. Remember, people don't realize this is not the norm. This is not biomechanically the way to throw anything. That's not. Your arm don't work that way. If you go look up and do some research, arms work to throw naturally. It's right here. That is the natural way to throw something. Not this way. This way actually, little by little, deteriorates a lot in your cup, in your all the way down into your lat. All this is affected by throwing this way for many, many, many years. This way is the natural throwing position. That's why softball, underhand, fast pitch softball players can throw a fucking ball 100 miles an hour and play for 30 years. That's why underhand, fast pitch, there's 55-year-old men playing it because their arms can withstand this for life because this is the natural way to throw something. So quarterbacks need that time off. That's why you see a lot of quarterbacks that a lot of people don't understand. The Kurt Warners, Trent Greens, Mark Bulgers, guys that played under Mike Martz. And then you see the Dan Marinos and the John Elways and the Brett Favres. It's not like I'm only naming one or two guys. I can keep going, by the way, are 3-quarter release guys. So go look at the history of your biggest, best, big-time quick release throwers of the football, and they're all 3-quarter. They're not this elongated, long out guy like Jared Goff and these guys. They're quick, boom, because their arm is not being all the way overexerted. It's being thrown here, which is closer to what?
The other hand.
So now their arms last longer. So if you look at the history of guys, look at Phillip Rivers, look at all the guys that played, Drew Brees, look at the guys that played 15, 20 years at quarterback, they're 3-quarter release guys. And the elongated motion guys don't last very long. I'm just telling you. Look at the guys. Just go look at them. And that's another reason Lamar Jackson, I think, will play until the late into his 40s. Because Lamar Jackson, obviously, he won't use his feet as much as he gets older, and we've seen him lately getting caught down like he wouldn't have got caught 4 years ago. Now he's getting caught a little more on the 90-yard runs. Let's just say, even though he's still getting 50s, he can play longer because this release he has is a quick bow, get it out, and his arm strength is still strong enough. So those guys can play a long time. Josh Allen, another 3-quarter guy. Mahomes. I'm just telling you. Anyway, I macro with the quarterback.
I love this. This is what we love right here.
Mechanics, the 3-quarter release thing is a big issue that no one wants to discuss. And it actually, if you can do it and get away with it and be tall enough, stature-wise, like God gifted you to be 6'5", 6'4", it helps. Drew Bledsoe's of the world, 3-quarter guy. It helps because if you notice, when you're young, and I know you're topped out at 6 foot, 6'1", I got to teach you to be more elongated to get the ball over the line of scrimmage and the 6'5", 6'8" lineman. If you're 6'4", 6'5", Drew Bledsoe's and these guys that had big time arms, they could be 3-quarters because they're 6'5". So there's a huge part of that too that a lot of folks don't understand that never played it or coached it. So there's a lot of things to it, but I don't believe this. CJ's elongated guy. He's not here. So he can make those throws, but CJ's more of a elongated thrower. So
what do y'all teach as a coach? So like you teach what CJ does, all right, as a coach. Like as far as like when you're teaching technique and all, like
what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean as he does? Like mechanically throwing?
Mechanically, like you guys don't necessarily teach like the 3-quarter style.
We see if you're really a coach,
yeah,
and you really don't want to change a guy, and you're not this fucking these street agent trainers, and you're really a QB guy that understands that you don't have enough time in between seasons, off seasons to change the cat's mechanic. That's why Lamar probably hasn't been fucked with too much, and that's why you haven't seen him. Jalen Hurts, who I say went from here to here in 1 year after his rookie year into his second year, he mechanically grew better, more and got better mechanically than any other guy in the NFL. That's my opinion. I've been saying that for many years. And I know Jalen, we're going to have a guy on our show this coming up week in Jordan Palmer, who's one of the best QB coaches out here. And Jordan will tell you, like, and we'll have this discussion with Jordan, and he has CJ Stroud, by the way, is one of his guys. He'll tell you, but you can't break down and start over if you're already in the NFL in off season. You just don't. There's not enough. You're going to hurt the cat more than help him. When you're already here and here, I can tweak that and change it to where Jalen Hurts did. Lamar is here and loose balled athlete. It's hard to change. You can change things mentally with them, but physically, I don't know. I think Lamar was too far gone already. So now it's like, all right, Lamar, let's figure some things out that we can make you better in the system, whether than it is. Hurts was already not too far away. I can tweak a few things. I could strap his elbow, his platform. I could keep his platform here instead of dropping his platform, which lowers your left shoulder. Now, guess what happens when you lower your left shoulder? The balls go high. Or guess what? If I'm too high here, ball goes high because my elbow's low. Or if I get it down here, now I can get the ball down and drive the football with my lead. We call it lead shoulder down. So I'm going to put my face mask on the lead shoulder. I'm going to keep it down, and I'm going to drive the ball. Whether it gets up here, balls sail on people. Because now, if it is that, and I can't change that in Lamar, guess what I got to do? I got to fix his platform, which is his throwing elbow. And now, if this is high, I can't be low here because the ball's going to come high. I got to get this arm up if I am high. So I'm high, but I got to get this throwing arm up. So now I can still drive the football. So like there's a lot of little things that I don't believe a lot of folks know about. And that's why QB play is getting worse and worse and worse. So I don't believe we understand that part of it. So, but anyway, we got a special guest joining us, man, a legend, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. When football was a gladiator sport, man, and a Miami Dolphin legend, man, and can't thank this man enough for hopping in here. And the 1977 NFL draft, first rounder, Miami Dolphin, and like I said, NFL Rookie of the Year. Can't wait to get his take on the Miami Dolphins. Our main man, AJ Duhe, joins the show.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. Doing good.
Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you hopping in, man. Love talking to the legends of the game. I'm old school. Smitty here is a youngster, so he's still getting his ears wet in this game. He likes you can't hit the quarterback anymore.
No, I know. I didn't say that. That's a lie.
AJ, I appreciate you.
I'm certainly working from home with that cigar going, right?
Oh, yeah. We're in the lounge, man, at the house, and cigar early. We're on the West Coast. So are you out in Florida?
Yeah, I stayed down here in South Florida. I live in Broward County, which is kind of the hub for Fort Lauderdale.
Nice.
I live in the burbs.
No doubt. I noticed something. You, I believe you got inducted, right, into the Louisiana Football Hall of Fame. Did that happen?
What year was that in, man? That was what year? I'm in my man cave. I mean,
hey, it's a good thing. It's humble when you don't even know that. That's unbelievable. I love it. So I can't. That's a great thing.
2001. I mean,
long time ago. Yeah.
Hey, you got the LSU shirt on.
I represent. I was thinking about maybe we go to commercial break. I put on my Dolphin jersey. I'll leave it like it is. Okay.
No doubt. Let me dive right into it. The Miami Dolphins in the current state. They got a coach that's roaming the sidelines. That's a little different than what you're accustomed to, or I am. He's a new age guy, more of an analytical guy, coming from the Niners as a run game coordinator. Are you comfortable with him leading the way here going forward? They did some good things, I thought, addressing the line of scrimmage this offseason, O-line, D-line, which I think you have to do to win on the road in cold weather in that AFC East, which they've yet to do. Are you comfortable seeing what he's doing, or you think this is probably going to be a hot seat year for Mike McDaniel?
I think it's a hot seat for him, but I mean I'm comfortable in the style of offense they run. I mean, I think the defensive coordinator situation has kind of been. I mean, now he's in this is year 5, I think, coming up for him. Correct? I mean, and on the 3rd defensive coordinator. So I think the defensive side of the ball kind of improved last year. I'm impressed with the improvements, but then again, Tua's how sturdy is your number one soldier, on the team. So
Sure.
I know my wife told me, she said, if you had that many concussions, she said, I'm pulling you off the game. So
no doubt.
That's what, that's my gut feeling. I mean, especially with all that guaranteed money. I mean, I'm letting the man make his own decisions. That's kind of his decision. He's got to live that life. So, but in terms of Mike, I mean, I like what he does. I like the offensive schemes they run. It seemed like last year there were just too many loose guns in the locker room. From what I'm hearing, locally. I don't know how you guys hear it on the national scene.
Sure.
Whether the players kind of had control of the locker room, or maybe a few of them. So that's got to tighten up. If that tightens up, then the ship runs sturdy.
No doubt. I got to ask you something. You play with one of my favorite of all time, and I wanted to get your unbiased opinion, if that's even possible, and I wouldn't be mad if it's not. Do you got Dan Marino as the top ball spinner in the history of football?
Is he one of the top all-time players?
Is he your top ball spinner ever? Just thrower of the football?
I mean, well, that's the only guy that I played with, that's in that group of guys. I mean, like Mahomes, I mean, he's doing magical things. I mean, our guy from Buffalo.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen, the guy just got married. I've been reading stories about his marriage. I can't even say his damn name on the radio with you guys. Or we're on a podcast right now, I guess, right? This is you guys call this podcast?
Yeah, no, we got a show. We call it a show now, AJ. We call it a show. We're a full-on show, man. We give it to y'all.
Oh, okay. I mean, this stuff didn't exist back in the day. A guy showed up with a mic, put in your face, asked you a couple questions, and let's go to the bar now. Okay, all right. But,
right.
Hey, how special was Dan?
Getting back to Danny, though, I think he is probably one of the greatest. I mean, the way he's, his release was so great. I mean, he trusted his throws into small windows. I mean, and he figures that I got so much velocity on it. If it's going to be picked, that guy better have some damn good hands,
Right.
No doubt.
100%. We talked about, or JB kind of started off this segment, talking about today's era being a lot more softer and not being able to hit the quarterback as much as, the way you could back when you were hitting the quarterback. Kind of staying on the topic of Marino, do you think he would be even better if he played in this era because of the rule changes and the way the quarterbacks are protected?
Well, they obviously protecting them more these days with the hit to the legs. I mean, you see some guys come around the corner busting their hump, and they kind of get pushed a little bit, throws them off balance. They fall on the guy's knees, and it's a 15. I mean, that to me that's ridiculous. I can see some of the damaging hits that occur. I mean, sometimes I think guys are playing a lot more rugged and more aggressive than they did back in my day. I mean, I had many shots to just take guys' spines out. I just didn't do that. I mean, it's kind of like that was in my DNA. Play the game hard, aggressively, and be the best you can be. But let's not take a guy's job away.
No doubt. I know, man. I love it. And that's coming from a badass like yourself that we got to watch when I was a youngster. I got to ask you. I had a debate with a former player of mine yesterday about one of the, who he thought the greatest center was of all time. I believe you had the best center of all time. And knowing that when you guys went good versus good, which we used to do in football, nowadays you don't even go ones versus ones. But going up against Dwight Stevenson when you guys played, is he the greatest center in the history of football?
I mean, you can say one of the greatest. I mean, I've never been down, in the negotiating room or the strategy room, like saying, let's put all the pieces together. But I remember so clearly that I used to love. I was kind of a freak of the game. I used to, come off the field, go over our few changes that we had to make in our defense, and then I'd go straight to the sideline and just follow the ball, like I'm a guy who's a sports writer, just covering the game up and down the sideline.
Yeah, see ball, hit ball. Yeah.
But I'm watching this guy, and I'm kind of going. I used to get double teamed. He would double block. I mean, he would take on the nose guard. He would take on the nose guard and all of a sudden see a safety coming in, and he would just take that one hand on that guy and bam, just knock him flat on his behind, And, when I saw that, I'm kind of going, this guy's, he's magical, you just.
He was unbelievable. I don't know if people really understand it, man. I don't think the new age group understands how good Dwight was at center, but we've had some great ones, but damn, I thought he was one.
On the other side of the ball, nemesis in college, Alabama. I ended up getting drafted 1 from LSU, Bob Baumhauer, number 2 from Alabama. We became roommates through training camp on the road. He's my best friend today. And, this guy needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I don't know how he is not in the Hall of Fame when I see guys go in every year, especially what they call the senior class, the guys that are way past 5 and you can get in. I mean, I'm doing my best to try and get him on board, man. That guy was the most dominant nose tackle in the game and played a good, I think, 10, 11 seasons. So if you guys got any juice, get it going, man.
No doubt.
No, for sure. No, most definitely for sure. Going back to your career, just I'm the young cat on the show. We got a lot of young people in the chat too. Kind of, I guess, educate them on your era of play, and I always ask this question anytime I have like legends on the show, just so I know. But what was your favorite memory during your time of playing?
I mean, probably. The draft started everything off for me. I mean, I'm a kid from Reserve, Louisiana, which is, I don't know how many people on the show are Louisianians and know where I'm from, but it's a small little town, between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Grew up as a gym rat. Love playing every sport you can imagine. That's the one thing I think that kids don't do today. They don't play enough of different sports. I mean, every time I see young kids or kids at autograph sessions and things like that, I tell them, I said, I bet you play travel basketball, travel something. He goes, oh yeah, I play travel soccer. I said, have you ever tried playing any basketball, any tennis? My whole life, I just competed. I used to have track meets in my yard when I was a kid. I mean, that's kind of how insane I was as far as being like a gym rat. But getting back to that, just the ability to go to LSU. That's why I'm wearing my shirt, man. If without LSU, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. I mean, they gave me an opportunity. A player from a town that we didn't have winning teams, but I just always balled. I thought that's kind of what you have to do. And, then coming to the Dolphins, getting drafted by, the Miami Dolphins was kind of an accident. I don't know if you guys understand, but I was supposed to be a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick coming out of college. I played in the Senior Bowl. The Miami Dolphins coaching staff was our staff. And I balled all week in practice. I was the defensive MVP. And leading up to the draft, a few teams started telling me that if I'm still on the board, they're going to take me. This is like picks, like the late picks, the teams in the 20s. And, back in those days, I think all we had was 26 or 28 teams, maybe even, right? So, all of a sudden the phone rings. The Buffalo Bills are on the phone. They said, we're on the clock. We heard your agent is Howard Slusher. Howard Slusher was the most hated guy in the NFL in terms of player representation. They said, okay, we'll get back to you. I hang up the phone. I tell my 2 roommates, get your winter clothes. We're going to Buffalo. The phone rings 2 or 3 minutes later. I pick up the phone. This is Bobby Beathard. I want to put Coach Shule on the phone. So the Bills went and took a guy that played 2 seasons. And I'm glad I had Howard Slusher as my agent because I ended up in a beautiful South Florida playing for the winningest coach of all time. And that's probably my most happiest moment as a professional before I even set foot on the field, as I got drafted by the Miami Dolphins,
That's amazing. That's amazing.
AJ, I'm going to toot your own horn, man, if you don't want to do it, because I know you're humble as hell. You had one of the greatest games in the history of football, in my opinion. I used to watch it on NFL films. You led personally against the Jets, the Dolphins, to the Super Bowl in that AFC Championship game. You had 3 picks, including a pick 6. Can you dive into that? Is that your greatest one-game moment in the history of your life?
Well, yeah, I guess that's what you were leading to in the first question. I was going to just kind of get into, what was my greatest moment? My greatest moment was getting drafted, by the winningest coach in football. I mean, I've learned so much from it. Getting back to that game, that was kind of a strange week because it was during obviously January 20. It was the late 20s. Okay, I mean, when we played the AFC Championship games, everything's pushed back now, almost going deep into the middle of February now, right? So
yeah,
so it's that time of the year where everybody's getting snowstorms, the big northers, and as that storm, every time every of those storms move south, it gets a little warmer and warmer. By the time it got to about Georgia, it started bringing rain. So we had rain almost every day for like 5 or 6 days. I mean, and I wasn't thinking about the Orange Bowl field. I was just thinking about, damn, we're going to have to practice in the mud today. You know what I mean? We're going to be, and Coach Schuler, we worked our schedule. He would see that the rains were going to be more heavy in the afternoon. We'd come bring us in that week and try and get our work in on the field in the morning, things like that. So we were making the adjustments as a team, knowing what the conditions were. But when we showed up to the stadium, it was horrendous. So I mean, like I went out and warmed up, and my feet were just like going about almost up to my ankles in that slushy field. So I went and retooled my cleats, and I had some big boy spikes on. Back in the day, everything was like 3/8 or a half inch or something like that. So I went to like a 7/8 or 1 inch cleat. Man, I was like walking out of the locker room. I was afraid because they were so high up in there. But once I got on the field, man, my footing was good. So, but getting back to the game, I mean, those 3 picks were definitely the biggest moment of my career as a player, for sure.
No doubt. That's unbelievable, man. The pick 6, I know you can go on YouTube and see it. I don't know if Bailey can find it, but I know you had the pick 6. Explain that pick 6. Wasn't it like backed up?
But we were up 7-0, and I think there was maybe about 8 or 11 minutes somewhere in that almost to the halfway point of the last quarter there. And, as a defensive man, I came in the game as a defensive lineman, okay? So, and they moved me to linebacker, in my year 4. So I played 3 years as a defensive lineman and my last 5 as a linebacker. So as
the skill guys, they always do that. Anytime a big fella, has a scoop and score situation or a pick 6 situation, it's always a corner or one of those skill guys who's like, throw me the ball back. It happens all the time, man. That's hilarious.
Hey, 3 picks in a game for a corner is big time. 3 picks in a game for a D lineman. I don't know. I don't know if it's still a record, but it was the record. I'm
tied with. There's one other guy for playoff games. Okay, I mean just playoff games. There's a guy from the Patriots. He was a hell of a DB.
Might have been. It might have.
He tied me. I think it was maybe
Samuel.
Something Samuel? Oh.
No. That's too. He's too young. It might have been like 6 or 7 years after this happened. But I saw that. I read that one day. I was just Googling to see most interceptions by a defensive player in playoff games. If you Google it, you might find it while you're sitting there with our conversation going on.
No doubt. No doubt.
So the field was a disaster. And then the most insulting thing that happened to me after the game, and I'm glad we beat the damn Jets and Yankee people, okay? Because the guy comes in the locker room and starts talking to me and asking me questions, and he kind of goes, "You must have felt comfortable out here playing in these conditions since you grew up in the marshes." I'm kind of going, that was disgusting to tell me something like that. You guy think I grew up in the bayou. I mean, where I'm crawfishing every day instead of working my ass out on the field, right?
Right, no doubt. Shit, I would be like, man, I just got 3 picks against the Jets. Talk about that Super Bowl. You guys get there, and obviously there was a daunting task there going up against the juggernaut. How was that Super Bowl game? Was it you're in year 4 or 5 at that point. Was it a humbling experience? Or was it unbelievable? The great team you had with one of the greatest, in my opinion, top 5 ever, Don Shula, leading you in there. And then I think Marino was a rookie, right?
Marino was in his
second year
against the 49ers. The first time was with David Woodley, LSU. Yeah. That was the Woodstock time. We had, David Woodley would play. If he was struggling, they would always put Don Strock in and he'd pull us out. It was tough. I mean, that one big play where we had the chance to, we had a batted ball. Bo Kemper was, go for the pick. And that would have iced the game right there. But Joe Theismann made a hellacious play and knocked it from his hands, and they took it down and scored that drive. And that was but it was a tough game. Hardman to lose. It was a strike shortened season. I don't know if you knew that. It was a strike shortened season.
Yeah. You played in 2. You played in 2 or 3 Super Bowls?
2. And the second one would have been the one with Dan's second year.
Yep.
That was the year he blew all the records out of the water: touchdowns, yards, passing, completion percentages. And that 49er defense was boss, man. I tell you, they were boss. I had no idea. I mean, because because really, I mean, as a player, you try and follow the game as best you can. You watch the games on Monday night, or it's nowadays you can be a big fan of the game because they play so many games and so many different times. I mean, but back in those days, there wasn't the only games you got to see were the Monday Night Football game as a player, and then maybe you can get home and watch the third or fourth quarter of the 4 o'clock games. You know what I mean? So I wasn't a fan of the game that much because they didn't give me the opportunities because it wasn't that popular like it is today.
Let me ask you one more thing before Smitty.
You can talk to me all morning if you want to. I don't care.
No doubt. I love it. The 85 Bears goes down as one of the great teams also. Walter Payton led and that defense and Mike Singletary and all that stuff. You're the team that beat them that year. On Monday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken. I remember watching that game as a youngster. How good was that team compared to that Niner defense when you played them? You got over the hump and beat that Bears team, but that Niner defense and that Bears defense, were those two of the best defenses during that era period?
Oh, definitely. And in that year, I didn't play. I mean, in '85, I was out injured. Okay, I had gone through 3 surgeries that postseason. So after the '84 season, I had 3 surgeries. I had knee surgery. And both of my shoulders were operated on. So I mean, I kind of came to camp still rehabbing and didn't play. And that was the end of my career. I mean, I actually, Coach Arnsberger actually offered me a job at LSU that former offseason because he saw I didn't play and he thought I kind of was ready to move on. And he offered me a job to come coach the linebackers there. And I kind of said, nah. I said, I'm going to keep working out. I'm going to keep trying because I want to try and, get back. And I just never could pass a physical. So, I missed out on my opportunity to get into coaching. And come to find out, people said, AJ, you wouldn't enjoy it, man. He says, you might move 8-9 times before you ever, retire. And I'm a homeboy. I mean, I've been in my house here for 40 years almost. I mean, I kind of.
Let me ask something. How much was the talk in the locker room? You're playing there early 80s and mid 80s. How much talk was there with the 72 team that today is still the most recognized undefeated team? The Patriots tried to do it and couldn't get it done, losing in the Super Bowl. And every year they do that meme that on the internet that we're still undefeated, baby. Once the team loses, how much is that whole water in the locker room? Is that just like a stigma, just walking around there knowing that franchise?
It might have been that way when I played. I mean, I think because in my generation, maybe for another, but the players today, I don't think even the guys in the Miami Dolphins team today.
Right. Yeah.
If you ask them to name just 4 of the studs that are still, because a lot of those guys have passed. I mean, it's honestly, I mean, can you name 3 or 4 guys that played on the team that that are still alive, or even 3 or 4 of the superstars? They might not be able to pull that off. So, I mean, in the locker room when I played, yes, because when I came into the league, we still had about 13 or 14 of those guys still playing with me. Okay, so. Right. So I got the feeling, they kind of brought that atmosphere to the team about how great we are, and let's not forget about it kind of thing. So, but the players today, I don't think they get that. No,
they don't. It's funny because Smitty and I argue the old versus the young, and there's a clip going around. There's a kid that got drafted by the Giants this year in Scattaboo, who's a good kid out of Arizona State, big running back. Remind me of Zonka.
I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw the playoffs.
Yeah, you saw.
I don't know how they hit. I mean, like I was kind of going. They had him like going in the 6th and 7th round. Some of the guys, when he came off the board, I'm kind of going. The Giants, they made a good call there. I think they picked him in the 3rd round. Was it?
I think so, 3rd or 4th. I'm not sure, but the point you made is he was on a show yesterday and literally did not know who Brett Favre was. And did not know who some of the legends were. And I tell Smitty all the time, Calvin Johnson, former, one of the greatest receivers ever. He said that, here, take a listen real quick. I want you to hear this.
I got no idea who this is.
There's no way. When were you born?
2002.
He's an 02 baby. You just tell me you don't know who that is. Nah, this is making me sick, bro.
Wait, I feel like I know his face, but I don't know. I can't tell you his name.
One of the best receivers to ever play the game of football. He played for the Lions.
Is Megatron?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I'm sick.
I thought he had a little bit more chocolate to him. I thought he was a little bit more darker than that.
I wonder if he knew who Billy Sims was. I mean, huh?
So, AJ, this is my point to Smitty, and Smitty gets it too because he's a historian. But like these youngsters, that's why I bitch and moan as the old guy in the show. I'm like, these cats have no investment of who allowed them to get what they're getting now. Like, you don't know who that is. It's the youngsters, man. They're getting paid in college now. They're demanding trades in the NFL and don't even know who their greats were. It just, to me, it's a kind of a slap in the game's face. And I love the kid right there, Scatterboo, but it's like
there's some. I think I hope it continues on because the young guys. I mean, being a player, I mean, the most greatest thing they've done for us as veterans is they've always worked on getting our pension increased. I mean, when I left the game, the NFL sent me this little book every year. This is what your pension benefits are going to be. And, after my first or second year, I said, why they send me this book so early? I'm only 31 years old. I can't retire for 34 more years. And sure enough, that pension just has quadrupled since the time I quit playing. From having to get $2,800 a month, it's like, I don't want to say over the air because some guys are going to kind of go, you're lying. There's no way that's true. So as long as I'm alive, let them young boys keep bumping up our pension. I'm going to know all their damn names, okay?
Shout out to the young boy, the young generation, JB. We help each other. The OGs help us. We help them. It's a full circle thing. Exactly.
That strike we went through back in we missed 6 paychecks. Okay, they don't pay when you're on strike. They gave us all they gave us some kind of bonus to come back to work, but it wasn't even worth 1 paycheck back in those days. So that's exactly what I'm saying, Smitty. Look, young boys, go Dogs, go.
Hey, AJ, where are you at with the current college landscape? I know you're LSU legend and alum. Let me ask you, how are you when it comes to Coach Kelly and what they're doing there in a gauntlet of football in the SEC there, having to play the teams they have to play every year? Where are you at with their, are they ascending upwards or descending in your opinion?
Oh, you mean the game itself?
No, LSU itself.
Oh, LSU. It's sometimes they look like they could be, a guy competing for the national championships. Some games, but then when it comes to, the big money games, they're just not showing up every time. The game we pulled off against Alabama maybe 3 years ago on the 2-point conversion at the end, I thought that was gutsy and I loved the call. Before the play was executed, I'm kind of going, that's the way to do it, Coach. Just put some pants on. Let's make it happen, okay?
Were you sad to see Ogeron leave after winning the Natty?
That kind of had a lot of hidden stories behind that. So he actually offered me a job. I went there one time just to say hello to him, and he says, "You want to come to work for me?" And I said, "What can I do?" He said, "Oh, we got this position called the analyst." And that was something that just started saving. I think created that whole
offense and defensive analyst. Yep,
analyst, right? And I said, "Well, Coach, I'd love to come back to LSU." I said, "But how much? What can I get? What can I pay you?" He said, "Oh, we're paying these guys $70,000-$80,000 a year, right?" But most of them are guys who were coaches who got fired and still had some juice coming in from their other,
Yep.
I said, I'm going to leave a job making more than that. I said, it's going to cost me $80,000 just to move my family here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you want to pay for the move, I think, we can make it happen, but it never happened, So that's kind of
AJ, it's more like it's either a young man's position, right? Like right after they get out of being a grad assistant, or it's a older guy's position that's already been a head coach and just there for 1 year. So that's kind of what they do now with those positions. Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
That's what it is. Smitty.
Would you say, I know there's been arguments, would you say that 2019 when the last time LSU won the Natty, would you say is that the greatest LSU football team of all time, that particular year? There are some arguments out there.
What's the other team they're comparing them against? Which team? Oh, you mean the greatest football team in college football or the LSU football?
Well, college football.
I mean, I can't.
You got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin
I
Jefferson
know
on
that,
that team.
but I'm not a big enough historian. I'm not a big enough historian of knowing who all the best college football teams were in other years. I mean, there were some animals when Ohio State was winning back-to-backs. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, they probably, people were arguing that, as the game has grown, I mean, Ohio State probably only threw the ball 14 times a game in those days. I mean, so, now you've got all these guys. And here's I was a quarterback as a kid growing up, and then my coach moved me to offense and defensive line because I was the biggest kid on the team. I said I could have been the first Ben Roethlisberger, if they wouldn't have, because in today's day and age, a dad would take his kid to go play for another team, saying, my son's playing quarterback. Playing quarterback. My dad said, just do what the hell the damn coach tell you to do. I mean, so it's kind of funny,
Yeah, no doubt.
As you can see, I get up the tracks a lot. Okay, you get that?
Hey, what was my man's name? The Great Ghost or whatever? Cannon, Billy Cannon, was that his name?
Yeah, Billy Cannon. Yeah.
That I know he played way back. 59 or whatever? I'm not sure when
it was. I think in '59. Yeah, that was the year that he won the Heisman, I believe. Right.
Yeah, that was a great team too, right? That team, I know that was way before my time to see it, but I know he was I watched that story, unbelievable story on the Great Ghost.
It's amazing. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about the story about how they had three teams. They had the Bandits. I think they had the gold team and the white team. I think that's what they're called, right? And that's how I think the Chinese Bandits. I think they actually call them, right? And but back in those days, everybody was playing two ways. I mean, you can only make so many substitutions. So the team was kind of, okay, we're going to substitute 11 at a time. Let's make it easy.
That was when we had in college.
It's like hockey. It's like you play three lines. Like in hockey.
Yeah. That was kind of when we had freshman frost off type thing still going. We still had like JV type of teams in college football. Yeah. No doubt.
My freshman year was the last year that the SEC had freshman football or JV football. And it was me, Terry Robisky, and Robert Dow. We were the three freshmen that leveled up to play on the varsity. But I remember a lot of the guys on the team. I mean, I'm trying to prepare to play Texas A&M, and they were about because all my hangout friends were freshmen. I mean, that's kind of the way it was. Yeah, right? Of course. And here they are talking about we got to play Vanderbilt this week. I said, I got time to listen to that. I got to prepare for Texas A&M, right?
Different game, man. Different world.
I never knew that. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
College football.
Colleges had three teams back in the day, and you were banging each other up. Put it this way: when my dad played at Compton College before he went on to college, and my uncle played at Compton College before he went to UCLA in the '55, something like that. They would scrimmage the Rams and other teams in college. They would scrimmage the NFL team back then. Yeah, it was unbelievable. And they'd play like Army. They'd play like the Marine Corps. All their teams too. They would all play right here in LA. But they used to scrimmage the LA Rams.
That's crazy.
And yeah, it was a different world, man. It was a different world. And then still had to play like AJ saying, had to get ready to play USC that week or whoever. So it's a different world, man. Cats were playing. That's why
I tell you one thing. I can promise you wasn't any walkthroughs.
There was no walkthrough. Huh?
The thing is, when I got to the NFL, we'd practice 2 days, and then we'd have a walkthrough at night. So we were kind of going, this is 3 days if you ask me. But the walkthroughs were almost no helmets, no pads, no nothing. It wasn't a walkthrough. It turned into like hell, I'm not going to let this guy block. I'm going to run around upfield and try and get past him.
And remember, freshmen couldn't play. Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, greatest backs of all. Syracuse couldn't play as a freshman, so they couldn't even play. So it's just a different world, man. Different girl.
I was telling you about the 3 picks. I think there's one guy that's tied me, and there was another thing that I did when I went to LSU. I was 17 years old, and I didn't turn 18. I was a starter as a freshman. I started in week 3. The first 2 weeks, I kind of was on second string. I outplayed the guys, so they moved me up to the first string for week 3 to the rest of the season. I was a 17-year-old, and I didn't turn 18 till after we lost to Tulane. I don't know if you look at my freshman team, we were undefeated going into playing Alabama. They beat us pretty good. Then Tulane beat us next week. First time in, I think it was like 28 or 30 years, something like that. And then we went to the Orange Bowl and lost to Penn State. So we start off 7-0 because, let's see, we started off 8-0 because back then you only played 10 games, in the regular season. Now they're playing a 11 or 12 game schedule, I think it is, right?
Well,
12 game, man, money, getting paid. Everybody's getting paid, right? So now I'm 17. I didn't turn 18 until after that last regular season game. And I think that might have held up until when I saw it, the kid from Ohio State, the receiver, they said he was 17 when they were in the playoffs, when Ohio State was like the first. And I'm kind of going, damn, I think my record got beat, to be a starter as a freshman, still be 17 years old, regular season, right? So good. God bless the kid, I hope he has a good, successful career and better than mine. I hope he plays for 15 years.
No doubt, man.
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
you young boy. You know the young stuff.
Yeah, he's a youngster.
I'm 31. I'm young. I ain't young. I ain't 19, 20. But yeah.
Our producer's 20.
What are you 30? What, you 30 something maybe?
Yeah, sir. 31.
Okay. See, I got three people say how many kids you have. I said I have none. I have 3 adults. Okay, you know what I mean? I don't know my kids. Yeah. I got grandkids and 3 adults that raise them. Right? Yeah.
You got grandkids our producer's age.
I still got a good idea how to pick out somebody's age.
Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, AJ, man, it's been a pleasure. I love hearing the legends speak, man, and I can't thank you enough for coming on, be candid, and just being able to talk with us like this, man. And we'll have to do it again maybe during the season or something if you're available. I would love to.
Yeah, just y'all. Hey, look, but you call it candid. I call it transparency. That's what I tell people. I said,
yeah.
I'm the most transparent person you'll ever meet. Maybe not. Maybe you two guys feel the same way about yourself, but
No doubt. Love it, man.
If you can't say how you feel or what you're thinking, I mean, just don't put yourself on the camera. That's all.
Right. Can't live, man. No doubt. Yeah. AJ, we got to have you back on, man, during the season maybe and seeing how the Dolphins are doing.
Yeah. Give me a shout out. I mean, I'll find a day to come on for you guys. I know it's been a while and you're trying to put some dates together. I was going around. I had 2 grandkids born over the last month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes,
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
No doubt.
Being a grandfather has changed my life, I'm telling you.
No doubt. I heard that. I've heard that, man. I congrats. I don't know if I'll ever do that.
Yes, you will soon. Yeah, you probably.
Maybe we'll see. My daughter's your age, Smitty, so we'll see. AJ, can't thank you enough, brother. Good luck, and hopefully everything's all right, and with you and the family, and congrats on that, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
And I hope your show's doing.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're growing, man. We're growing.
You guys been doing this show?
Yeah, we doing it. Yeah, Smitty and I have been together a couple of years now, and I've been doing this. I started it about 4 years ago, and Smitty and I have been doing it year 2. Yeah, so
it's getting better. You kind of got.
Yeah.
Once I joined, it got a lot better, and it's been just growing since then. So
yeah.
So you came on, and now it's rolling.
Yeah. We're gonna let them think that. Yeah, we're gonna let them think that, AJ.
Well, let me know how today's results go, and I can kind of, if I want to pump your ratings up, I'll help you out, man. Don't worry about it.
Hell yeah. No doubt. Hey, AJ, love it, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Like he was saying, people are coming in the chat room. I mean, I don't know how that works. Maybe they
they love you.
They love you. They love you.
Right
Yep.
Everybody say, hey, AJ.
Okay. God bless you guys. Okay.
All right, AJ. Appreciate you, brother. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Shout out to the legend, y'all.
Shout out to the legend, man.
Great energy, great stories, great insight by a legend, man. I did not know. It's crazy how I guess naive I am or whatever. I did not know that college football used to do the JV and the freshman teams. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I actually like it though. It kind of makes sense though. It probably helped the players grow.
They used to have 3 teams, but that's what it is. But at least you admit you're naive. First part of growth.
I don't think that's the right word in that situation, but we'll stay with it.
Definitely, it's either naive or ignorant. So
ignorant. I think ignorant was better for that example.
I try to be more respectful and say naive.
No, I mean ignorant. Like we put a bad connotation on, but ignorant is literally just like not knowing. So I did not know that happened. So I was ignorant to that topic.
But ignorant also means you chose not to find out when you could.
Naive means like it's like
you're nice and you're forgiving.
like
you don't want to accept.
Yeah.
You don't want to accept the
That's what I'm
fact.
saying. That's different. So that wasn't naive.
You don't want to accept them coming in your house and taking over and squatting. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Or somebody like you who just believes in everything that they scroll on their Twitter feed will see like a handful of stories and then they'll use that small sample size to categorize an entire community and group and then say they all need to be kicked out because he saw 3 black people rob a store, or he saw 2 white people do this, or 2. So now he wants everybody kicked out. So it's different. There's different stories, different strokes for different folks, but we're all here. And make sure you haven't hit that like button yet. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we have one more guest coming on in about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go make me a Primogenesis, Shaun, get some water, and go use the bathroom.
We got a OKC Thunder insider going to break down the OKC Thunder as they get ready to tip it off versus Indiana Pacers tomorrow, and then tonight. Smitty's going to break down this matchup between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers in a repeat of the NHL Finals, Stanley Cup Finals. And then we got some more news out there, too, as far as a particular coach discussing what somebody was in baseball. We mentioned it yesterday, and I tweeted about it. And a great, unbelievable play by Travis Hunter in practice yesterday. And we're going to discuss that as well. Is that his natural position? Looked like a natural play to me. We're going to dive into that on the other side. So in about 4 minutes. Appreciate AJ. Appreciate all our guests. And we'll see you in about 4 minutes after this commercial break. Peace. Hey, well, fuck it. I'll go home tonight. I'll drink my yak and smoke my stick. And I'll get it back cracking. Pride Month. So congratulations. I wanted to wish you a happy Gay Pride Month. No disrespect to them at all, but that had nothing to do with me. I don't know why you telling me congratulations. Oh, rewind this? Let me rewind this. I'm trying to figure out what is this. Football is gay?
That's something you would say.
Football is lesbian? Football is transgender?
You've actually said that before on the show.
What is this? Come on, NFL. Fuck, homie. I thought we were over with this. God damn. I thought this shit was over, homie. LGBTQ plus youth with at least one. What did it say? Go back. With at least one. Oh, my God. This is their promo, homie. Oh,
this is very old, by the way. This game has this ain't something new. This is very old. So when you say it's over, this is old.
Well, you know what's not old? The Chargers, the Bills, and a bunch of other teams posting this on their websites. Okay, this was not old, by the way. This is 1 day old. So now what? And what's your answer to this now?
I'm just letting you know that was old. I'm not like
I'm telling you though, it's not old because it's still going.
Informing you that particular ad was old. That's all I'm saying.
That particular ad is why they do this though.
Argument, homie.
See, that's what macro does. That particular ad is why the NFL is doing this now, today, as of yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Chargers, the Bills, the fucking your Colts.
Yeah.
What other teams have done
the
it?
Rams.
It's unbelievable what a joke. I haven't seen the Rams do it.
They did,
but. It's unbelievable. The gender unicorn from Trans Student Educational Resource, TSER. Gender pronouns, TSER. The Coming Out Handbook. The Trevor Project. 2024 National Survey on the Mental Health of LGBTQ. Oh, fuck, homie.
You make like a bigger deal out of it than what it really is. Because like it's really having no impact on the game.
Smitty, you had a real strong take earlier.
If you understand business, and we can disagree on that side of it, which is fine, but they're just trying to extend their market. They're trying to make it all inclusive to where the mom can go watch. If you're gay, you go watch. If you're young, you go watch. It's all a money play. How can we grow this game in every market? That's why you keep seeing games going out the country and back to back weeks in different places. And then if you look at the grand scheme of everything, they're just trying to connect to everybody. It's all a money play. That's all it is. And again, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying, but you're making this pride stuff like it's not really doing anything to the league. Like it's not like the game ain't changed so much. It's not like there's 1,000 gay players are just all playing right now, an all gay team. Like, it's just the advertisements of it just hurts you so deeply. But in reality, when you just take your emotions out of it and look at the game, it ain't nothing really changing. It's still football. It ain't.
Well, that's not. It has
it's
changed.
Still majority straight players like it's always been, and that's it.
We don't know that, but it has changed.
We've never known that. Even when you play, we didn't know that.
Has the game gotten softer or not? Yes or no?
Excuse me?
Has the game gotten softer? Yes or no?
By rules, yes. By rules.
Okay. Are there a lot more women coaching football in the NFL now than ever before? Yes or no?
Ever before, yes.
Okay. So 2 for 2.
Is there a lot of women coaching? No. But ever before, yes.
It has changed, homie. It has changed the game.
It hasn't changed.
2 months ago, you had a very strong take on this show. An NFL player said he wanted to host an LGBTQ camp, and you were totally against it.
Yeah,
so
camp, yeah.
Okay, camp. So what do you think? What do you think promotes that, homie?
I'll let you finish.
What do you think promotes that guy to do that? Because his corporation, the NFL, does this. What do you mean? What do you mean it doesn't? That's macro thinking, homie. You just
had nothing to do with him.
You said it has no effect.
He did that because he has a gay brother.
You said it has no effect.
Bullied and his whole entire life. So
no matter
his love of his brother.
But you said
NFL doing.
But you said it has no effect.
I have direct ties and connect. I know the story. So.
You said it has no effect, though. I'm telling you, it does have effect. Because
that player did not do this because the NFL is promoting.
Who looks up to the NFL?
I don't know.
Is it not kids? Don't we look up to stars and NFL and NFL, everything NFL stands for?
We look up to stars, yes.
Our youth is directly being affected by this. I don't know why you don't see that.
The players are like,
I don't see why you don't see that.
Ray Lou. I like Dwight Freeney. I'm not looking at all this shit.
But you aren't, Smitty. That doesn't mean the kids who are the most influential group of people on earth are. Look at the kids. The kids do see this, homie. How do you not know that? Like, it's not really like a conspiracy. We all know growing up who we looked up to. So do these kids. So do these kids. No, the kids look at the stardom of it, the star-studded part of it. And guess what's promoting that?
What star players are like promoting it heavily? Like, what do you?
I don't understand why you're being this micro today on this. Who's the MVP of the league?
Josh Allen.
Okay. How many people look up to Josh Allen, you think, as kids?
A ton of players look up to
What
Josh
teams?
Allen.
What teams do he play for?
He plays for the Bills, but Josh Allen is his own entity, homie.
We're back in the building. Real quick, since he's still in the background and he had something to say because Craig hit me up. AJ, I know you're listening still in the back. AJ, real quick. AJ, you still there?
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, give us your take on tonight's matchup. I know you're a hockey guy. Your Florida Panthers are taking on Edmonton. Go ahead. I know Craig hit me up and said you had a take on it. We want to give you that.
I mean, I actually became a hockey guy with my two little boys. The Florida Panthers were born here maybe a few years after they were born, and I started taking them to the rink, and they started skating, and they started signing up for Little League hockey, and I'm watching this. I'm kind of going, damn, man, I wish I could have played this game. And, I mean, like in Louisiana, during hockey, I didn't know hockey existed as a child. I thought it was just a I thought it was an Olympic sport as a kid growing up. Okay. You're looking at me, Smitty, like, damn, this guy is old. You know what I mean?
I didn't say that.
Okay. No. So I started watching them play hockey, and I just loved it. So I've been a big Panther fan since then. And I like the moves the team made late in the season. I mean, Marchand, when we signed Marchand, I'm kind of going, what the hell? He's a lifer. He was a Bruin lifer, right? I mean, and our goalie is tremendous. Kachuk. I mean, I'll take him on my football team. I'll put him at outside linebacker. He can play. I mean,
he's so tough, man. He's so tough.
So, no doubt. You liking that game is sweet, right? I mean,
I can't wait. We've been talking about this playoffs of the last few weeks. It's been so exciting, and to get a rematch here in the Stanley Cup, the the Panthers are trying to go down as one of these all-time great teams. They're able to go out here and win another one. Man, that'd be historic. So no, I'm excited.
McDavid though, he's sweetness, isn't he?
He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
He is. He's good.
He's Michael Jordan. He's Michael Jordan of the NHL, right?
No doubt. No doubt. It's going to be interesting to see this finals kickoff tonight.
I emailed. I said, "Damn, man, they're going to talk NHL, man. That's my sweet sport right now." You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Hey, McJesus, man, we're going to see what he can do tonight. Edmonton beat my Kings. They beat my Kings.
The series. I mean, Edmonton. They know how close it was last year, so it's going to go 7 again. I think it's going to go 7. You know.
It's going to be interesting, AJ. Man, we can't thank you enough, brother. We'll see you again soon, I hope.
Yeah, I'll leave you alone. I'm glad you picked me back up. I'm sitting here typing.
No, I love it.
It says you're sitting in the locker room. They can call you back on. I'm going, damn, this shit's organized, man. Look at it.
That's what we do. That's what we do. Coach JB Show Big Smitty.
God bless you again. I'll talk to y'all later. Okay.
All right, AJ. Thank you.
All right, AJ. Appreciate it.
Smitty, real quick, I want to show a little deal here on Travis Hunter yesterday making a play.
Okay, yeah, let's do this. I saw
Get your take on this. How that the play is a play. He made the great play. Here's the issue I have. And we said this yesterday in group text together. He's going to be eyes on him, all eyes on Travis Hunter this offseason. Mm-hmm. So, but I do know for a fact, and you can ask Eric Weddle and other guys that play in practice. There's DBs that are making these unbelievable catches in one-on-ones all day long, every day in the NFL. DBs, they're great. They're freaks. And so we just don't see it. So we're seeing these one-handed plays. We just don't see it. But that is where he belongs, in my opinion. I truly believe that's where he belongs. His ball skills are off the chart. I think his ball skills are as good as anyone. And I've been saying that for a long time. And that's why I think he's special on defense because of the ball skill addition that he has and brings to the table on that side of the football. He can be a difference maker. On offense, I think he's just going to be a guy. And that's just what it is. I don't think we need to I'm not going to beat a dead horse. My opinion. I think he needs to play there first, sprinkle him in on offense if that's what you're going to do. But the whole both way thing is just getting, I think, out of hand. But he made a play, and that's one-on-ones, and that's what we see every day. We see that every day. We just don't see it because they're filming him every single snap.
Yeah. I ain't even gonna talk about the both sides no more. I'm gonna just wait and see what they decide to do, and see what he does. So we can argue all we want, but in a few months we're gonna see if he's gonna do it, and we'll see if it's effective and if it works or if it doesn't work, and we'll have our answer. And either you'll be right or I'll be right, and we'll move on. So, but shout out Travis Hunter. Regardless of what happens, he's going to be very successful. And the Jags made the right choice. Now, will that be enough to put them over the hump and really start to roll and win playoff games and win the division? We shall see. But big move for them.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We will see.
So, I guess we will. I guess we'll find out.
We'll see. That's the only thing we can do.
I guess we'll see it when it happens. Like, no point in even talking about it no more, really.
Yeah. Anyway, in news, there's a coach that we mentioned yesterday who dropped the word. He said the F word. Not fuck. And basically, he's issued an apology for using the word during Tennessee yesterday in the College World Series. And I gave my input on Twitter. Take a look. I said, love it. It's called coaching. So obviously people are mad at me. And, so this is Smitty's point earlier. He said I had a great tweet versus Trey Wingo, and that it takes my brand to another level right here. And then right here, Smitty, what would this be called to you, in your opinion?
It completely degrades your brand. It is like complete opposite of what I just said. Love it. It's called coaching. Now, listen, me and you grew up in eras where we weren't as sensitive to a lot of words like this. So like this word was something that got used even when I was growing up, if I'm being honest. So it's like whatever, like we would say it as kids. Even when we were young, we probably didn't even know what it really meant. We just said it just to like be saying it. So it wasn't that big of a deal to us. But we understand, you gotta understand like the times and where we at. And this isn't a word that as a coach, as a leader of a team, especially at the collegiate level, that needs to be used. Now, the one thing I will defend him on is that he don't know the camera's on him. I'm gonna be real with you. Now you can argue, well, you shouldn't be saying it either way. Anyway, agreed. But there's a lot of stuff that we probably all say when we're just talking amongst each other or in our group chats or what have you, where if the stuff went public or we had a camera on us, people would think that we were the worst people in the world, right? So the fact that the camera just went on them real quick, it just was just bad luck, for that time. With that being said,
I don't think really anybody cares.
With that being said, Jason didn't need to like necessarily double down on it. Love it. This is what's called coaching. Like Jason don't know anything about this guy. He don't know if he's a great coach, bad coach, nothing. He decided he used a word in a certain language that JB likes to use, and now he thinks he's just a great coach. Love it. This is called coaching. Like that's crazy. Like fuck the X and O's, forget the scheme. And this is called coaching right here. So
love it. You know what's the irony of this?
What?
This is why nobody cares and why it's a joke. You just said it. You literally said it. You said in group texts and other things. And if you and I were playing hoop with the homies and we're all chilling or at the barbershop, we call each other that word.
Years ago, yep.
So to non-gay people, we call each other the word all the time. Oh, you fuck around. We fuck around, right? We say it to each other. Has there ever been any offense taken? Be real. No, there hasn't. Let's be honest. We call each other that.
Unless like y'all were like literally arguing.
But
yeah.
Retard. We use those words all the time. Why is it though that I can call the homie the word? He takes zero offense to it, but when I call a gay guy the word, it's now a huge offense. The irony in that, you got to really macro deep think that is fucking hilarious.
Well,
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, homie.
It's still different because
you can't even defend it. It's hilarious.
Well, only because the word, if you're talking to somebody who is,
it's the same word, Smitty. Same word, Smitty.
It's from a derogatory.
It's the same word, homie.
It's from a derogatory.
It's literally the same word, though.
It's the intent. It's the intent behind it, though. If you said to the homie, you're saying
why we say
joke on some jokey like type stuff.
I disagree.
If you say it to somebody who's actually that, then they could take that as if you're trying to be disrespectful.
I disagree. I disagree. The word I'm saying that to the homie to like as the same derogatory fucking. I'm calling you that word, fucking with you on purpose. Like it's the same fucking thing, homie. I'm calling you that word to get under your skin.
You're saying like you're saying like if you had like a gay best friend, for example, like and you called him that.
So look, I do know people that have homosexual friends, and it's like a girl calling a girl bitch. You know how they're homies? You've heard it.
They always do that. Yeah, they always do
that. Bitch, shut up, bitch. You bitch. Like girls call each other bitch all day long. And guys call each other the F word that are gay all day long, homie.
I don't know. Yeah,
I do know. I do know.
No, I agree. I'm saying I don't know, so I gotta lean on your expertise.
But that's my point. That's my point, though. That isn't that the same fucking thing here? I'm confused on why we keep worried about.
But it's one of those things where let them decide that. Like we're not that community, so let them do that. Like we don't make the rules for that. For example, I'm not going around calling women bitches because they call each other bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like the women can do that, but I mean I can do that. I don't go. Well, hold on. Chris called Lucy a bitch, so I can call her a bitch. No, I can't. There's a whole different flow. So if anybody wants to do that, let them do that. That don't mean that we should be going around doing that. Homie.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think if you're gonna call yourself that, then what's the issue? You use the word, homie. Like I don't agree. Like we get too sensitive over words.
We get down a slippery slope with that.
Nah, I don't believe so. If we're gonna use the word,
we're getting too sensitive. So I get.
Yeah, you said it. We're too sensitive.
No, I'm asking you.
Thank you.
I'm asking you. I'm saying you're saying we're getting too sensitive. So I get to start calling you a bitch on this show, and you cool with it.
Yeah, because I know you don't. Because I know your intent.
You cool with it? All right.
You know what I mean.
All right, then. That's my thing. Like you're a good debater. Like the thing about JB always wants to win, which is cool. But like behind the scenes, or like on some real talk shit, there's certain shit that you just don't. I don't.
Yeah,
respect.
but here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. You said the word bitch.
No, that's the example we're talking about right now.
That's what I'm saying. So. But I'm not a girl.
But no,
there's a difference.
But
There's a
your
difference.
point was
Nah.
we're sensitive towards words, though. So if it's just a word, why would you care?
I don't care.
With the F word
care.
we're talking about.
Homie, they call me bitch every day on Twitter and shit. What do you mean? It's the same shit. Like,
you act like regular trolls who you like. That's different. Like, I don't even know who these people are. I'm saying if I started calling you a bitch, you would feel some type of way. I know you would, because I know how you grew up. I know you would. No matter what you say right now, I know you would.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference, though. I'm not a woman. We just said women call each other that all day long, and gays call each other the F word all day long. But when we say it, now you get sensitive to it. No, homie, you can't have it both ways.
I
You can't have both ways.
You even disagree if you really think about what you're saying right now.
No.
You're saying since women call each other bitches, that we should call them bitches. And
No, I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is we have to understand that it's at the end of the day, it's still a word, and we're getting offended by this guy saying a word. And literally, they use that word in their community to each other. So what is the difference is what I'm asking you. That's my question. There is no difference. Whether you like it or not, there's no difference in the word, though. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, the way he's saying it in this situation, one, he's not even talking to like he's not talking to like a actual player who's gay, I don't think, number one. But number two, in this context, he's saying it in a derogatory way. Is he not? He's not saying it like jokingly.
I don't know if it's a derogatory way. I mean,
he's not saying it in a positive. He's not saying it in a way that's like
there's no positive way
to say
it.
The homie like, oh, you fucking like, nah, he's pissed. Like he's saying it like some like, he's using it in a bad way. Am I tripping?
Any of my players in here, I've called them that word so many fucking times on me. And did they get mad at me and Tremanda Moore, Tremanda, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing? I want to know what the hell you're doing in life. By the way, Tremanda Moore is in the chat. If you guys are from Oklahoma and know anything about it, he was the number one player in America, and I got him to Indy because he didn't make it right out of the gate to Oklahoma. I ended up getting him to Oklahoma, and he ended up being a Sooner. But he was the number one player in America, and I got him, and it was the biggest signing for Indy at the time, my first year on the job, and I got the best player in America. One of the most freakishly gifted O-linemen I've ever seen in my life. 6'6", 350, and ran 4.7, and had a 40-inch vert, and unbelievable. Pride of OKC right there. Hopefully you're doing good, son, because I ain't heard from your ass. Other than whether you DM me or asking me for a fucking pizza, that's the only time I hear from your motherfucking ass. Law enforcement, much love, much love.
He's the tallest officer in America.
Biggest.
Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Tremanda Moore. It's always good when you like somebody you ain't seen in a minute who you like really care for, if it's a player, coach, because you was in the middle of a take, saw his name, and changed your whole. You know what I mean? So, shout out to him.
Timo, tell your pops and mom I said what's up, because your pops, I talked to him on Facebook here and there. So tell them I said what's up. Shout out to everybody out there, man. JB,
it's time. No, it's time, JB.
It's time, man. We had an Indiana Pacers analyst on earlier, and now it's time to, speaking of Oklahoma and Timo, we're talking about a OKC insider, man. Works for The Athletic, covering the OKC Thunder and the Athletic NBA show. And can't thank him enough for hopping on here, man. Our main man, Andrew Schlecht, joins the show. Andrew, how you doing, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
I hope I didn't murder your fucking last name, man.
No, you did great.
Oh,
you did great.
Perfectly.
I pride myself on that shit. Smitty would have fucked it up, so I had to be the guy that introduced you.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, we had a guy on here earlier, a former NBA player, obviously covering the Pacers. He's there. Are you in town, or are you doing it from remote?
Yeah, I'm in Oklahoma City.
Okay, got you. So the game's tomorrow. Tomorrow. The NHL starts tonight. NBA's tomorrow. They're going to compete as they do every year. NBA and Stanley Cup finals. What is your take? I just got to ask you right out the gate. Is this the new norm? The small market franchises, are we going to see more of them in NBA finals? The big three is kind of lost, in my opinion. I think the big three is kind of gone away. More organic now with Boston and Denver, and the last few champs being kind of homegrown, meaning who they drafted, not college, of course. Is this what the new norm? I know you guys got the MVP from the Clippers and maybe one of the worst trades ever for the Clippers, but that's what the Clippers do. That's why I'm a Laker.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm sure you guys are happy. But we've had these opportunities. We've had the KDs and Westbrooks and Harden as a rookie, couldn't get it done. And now this team looks like the team that could get it done. Best team in the NBA. If they win their home games, they're going to be the NBA champs. Is this the new norm, the small market? And is it going to hurt the viewership of the NBA, which is kind of on the decline as it is?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the new norm is that the way they've set up the new collective bargaining agreement for the NBA is you can't get by on just spending money anymore. That's what a lot of teams did, is they just spent a lot of money. They brought as many good players as they could together. And now this new CBA is really restrictive. Like, teams can't just spend their way. We've seen it with Phoenix. I think Phoenix is probably the best example of it. Like, they went and traded for Kevin Durant. They traded for Bradley Beal. They just thought we'd just put all these talented guys together, and it didn't work. And now they are handcuffed, and their owner's bleeding money, and there's really nowhere to go for them. And they're also not very good. I think that if you have a good general manager and an ownership group that supports that general manager, which is what we have in Oklahoma City, I think that really is the biggest advantage that you can have. And so I do think, like, the new norm is you have to have really good ownership and you have to have really good management. You can't just spend your way to a title anymore. As far as viewership goes, I think there will be it'll be interesting to see what happens there for the NBA. I don't think they care, because they've already signed their TV rights deal. They're getting paid the same amount of money no matter what happens here. I think a lot of the reason that we hear so much about this is because it's ESPN and they have to sell ad dollars. Right. And those are the loudest people about it. Oh, these small market, like they freak out about it more than anybody because it's affecting their wallets.
They wanted the Knicks so bad in the finals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's something fun about having New York back in the finals. I mean, even somebody who lives in Oklahoma City, like, yeah, I was kind of rooting for that too, just because that would be kind of fun to have the New York Knicks in the finals. But yeah, I think as far as new norm, it's hard to say, because you look at the finals the last 5 years and it's been different matchups every year. I think probably the new norm is that more teams are going to have opportunities, and it's not just going to be the LA team that can spend more than anybody, or Golden State that can spend more than anybody. I think that a lot of teams will have opportunities.
Looking at how young this OKC team is, and the fact that they're already this great and they're already in this position, could we potentially be looking at the beginning of a dynasty, in your opinion?
I think it's certainly possible. I think that it's funny because we get to this point of the year every year, and I think we ask that about every single team that makes it to the finals or that wins it. They certainly have a chance, because what they have is really sustainable. You're going to have Shea that's going to re-up on a new deal soon. Same with Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. I think they're going to hang on to those guys for the long haul. And the thing that makes it really sustainable is that they have all these draft picks. And a lot of people have thought, okay, they're going to take these draft picks, they're going to trade for some big star, bring him in to kind of flank this group. They can use these draft picks to actually keep this group together. And when maybe they can't pay Case and Wallace down the road, maybe Lou Dort, when he's up for a new deal, wants to make a lot of money, they can draft guys, or they can use those draft picks to trade for guys that are a little bit cheaper, that fill similar roles, and keep this roster going. That was the one thing about the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook teams, is that when it came time for them to compete, they had no assets to fill out the roster. And so they relied on picks in the 20s that a lot of them didn't work out. And they relied on minimum signings or trades that involve second-round picks that just don't move the needle. And now they really do have ways to get better throughout this. And the kind of scary thing, and what makes me think that it is possible for them, is none of these guys are really in their overlapping primes yet. That's been kind of something I've been keeping tabs of for this Thunder team, is that when Shea, Chet, and Jalen Williams are all in their primes together, that's when you have teams that are competing for titles. The fact that they're doing it now and that they're playing in the finals tomorrow should be a little bit of a red flag to the rest of the league. Like, hey, there's something pretty special going on in Oklahoma City, and it's happening sooner than probably anybody thought it would happen.
Is it hard, though, when you're trying to attract to OKC? You're the only thing in town, which is a good. And then on the bad side is it's OKC, not to knock OKC. I've been there plenty of times, living in that area, coaching. But like, is it a draw for the big free agent? And do you care if you're going to go with this model, like you said, and be organic and use this model to win? Do you guys even care about getting the KDs of the world at this stage? Or are you going to just go with the youth? Because I know Houston, very young team. On the upcome. Boston's already won it, being pretty young without Holiday as their oldest guy, basically him and their center. What's his name from Florida? Other than, and he might be gone. Horford. He's probably gone after this, I would think. And then you got the Knicks, who's pretty decent, pretty young, just got rid of their coach. I would think are going to go after a Giannis or somebody like that in New York, big media market. Having that small media market and no more big threes, do you even care about getting the superstar anymore to attract? Because you guys already sell out every damn game. I know it's a new world, but it's a new world until, though, the stars say, hey, I want the bag of money, and we can't appease everybody. Is that going to hurt OKC's attraction later, I guess, in a long way? Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I think that the Thunder are pretty self-aware. And, the best free agent that's ever been in Oklahoma, that's ever signed with Oklahoma City is Isaiah Hartenstein. And before that, it was probably Patrick Patterson. So I think that they're aware that like free agency is not really an avenue for them. And the fact that they don't have any cap space moving forward, like it won't be one that they'll try to use. But I think as far as like team building goes, I think it's always been about through the draft, number one, and then through trade, number two. And we've kind of seen that through the years. They traded for Paul George. They traded for Carmelo Anthony. They ended up trading Paul George to get this team they have now. So I think they know that Oklahoma City is not a place that they can get guys. I mean, even back when they had KD and Russ, Pau Gasol was a free agent, and he was going to sign a smaller deal with a team, and he opted for Chicago over Oklahoma City. And he cited that it was because they have a better opera house in Chicago. And so, which is just kind of like a really strange and mean way to say, like, your city kind of sucks. So I think that they know that free agency is just not the avenue. It took a really special set of circumstances, honestly, for Hartenstein to sign here. I think that the Knicks would have loved to keep him, but because of the small deal he signed and the extension number that he was going to have to sign at for that, they just couldn't ever come to terms with it. And the Thunder just blew their offer out of the water. And so I think that as far as free agency goes, no, but they've done enough through the draft recently, and they'll have the 15th pick in this upcoming draft. They have the 24th pick in the upcoming draft too. Like they trust their scouting and they trust their ability to find guys in the draft, and we'll continue to build that way.
Do you think their bench is the key in this thing? Is their bench going to get them over the hump, being able to get on the perimeter and stretch out this Indiana team where you storm on defense? You might be historically one of the best defenses on paper that we've seen. And it's fun to watch the defense because I love watching it in an era that I believe is softer than we've previously growing up watching the physical NBA. We're in a game now where Caruso can guard the big and you can have all guards out there. Are you relying on your bench to get this title done, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's about Shea, Chet, and Jalen Williams. But then I do think that they've been very, very important to the way that the Thunder operate. And so I do think that bringing them off the bench has been crucial in these playoff series and will continue to be so against Indiana. They need these guys to kind of fly around, defend multiple positions, and kind of get guys like Pascal Siakam knocked off base. So I do think that's certainly a part of this.
In the event that OKC does not finish the job and they lose in this finals, I guess, like how disappointing would that be for this community, for this team, knowing that obviously, last time they were in the finals was 2012. We know that they fell short there, but it was kind of going against like a historic Heat team. So we kind of like understood that.
Did we lose them?
Oh, did we lose them?
I think it was getting a little bit I think he was losing a connection.
All right. Well, there it is. So appreciate that, man.
What are we going to ask? He'll be back, I'm sure. What are we going to ask?
Just how big of a letdown it would be in the event that OKC lose. I feel like I haven't looked at the odds on BetUS, but I'm pretty sure OKC is the favorite. I mean, they probably should be. They've been the best team all year long.
Huge favorite.
A huge favorite, right? Where I'm sure in 2012 they probably were not the favorites going against LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, and although OKC had a loaded team at that time, that was a young James Harden who we did not know was going to be an MVP. It was a young Westbrook. We did, you know what I mean? So it was just
they also choked that series up 3-1 on Golden State.
Well, yeah, that was like years later. That was Westbrook and KD. That was after Harden left. So I'm just saying from a final standpoint, I think he's getting back on here now. Like with them being the favorites this year, it's like I don't really think anybody outside people in Indiana has the Pacers winning. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has OKC winning. So if they were to lose, I just wonder how big of a letdown that would be.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask him on that question you just asked. I want to ask. Do you have to go after one of these free agent stars if you don't get it done?
Right.
Because I don't know do you bring a KD back? Do you or I don't know.
To me, that would be great, honestly, though, from a storyline standpoint.
We don't know the continuity, though. We don't know the continuity, though.
I think he fit. The good thing about KD, though, seriously, like he fits well as like it sounds crazy, but as like a role player because his game, he can score from anywhere. He doesn't mind. Like his ego, he doesn't need to be the leader. He knows Shai's the leader. He can just fit in. And KD's actually a pretty damn good defender, especially when he has a good defensive nucleus around him. You know, some of his best defensive years was with Golden State. So I can see him being a guy that fits in, good defender, can score from every level, as we know. To your point, in the event that they would lose, imagine that storyline of KD coming back to the team that drafted him and helping their new star and Shai, where they work together to get the team over the hump. That'd just be an incredible storyline. I doubt it would happen, but from a storyline standpoint, that would be beautiful. So,
Andrew's trying to pop in, but his camera's having issues, so we'll see if he can get back in or not. If not, we'll bring him back in to end it. If not, try to get him on again. But it's going to be interesting. I want to see how this team kind of goes against this Indiana team. Are they going to focus everything on stopping Halliburton tomorrow? And is Halliburton going to be able to get loose as he has? Is he going to be able to hit that big shot against a stymie defense that's just going to who's known to guard the perimeter a little better than everybody else? So, like, I'm curious to see how Halliburton is. Is he going to take that next step and be a true superstar in this series? Because if not, we're going to be sitting there questioning Halliburton. Say, here we go. Let's see if we can get him back in. You got you?
I'm back, guys. Listen, in Oklahoma, the internet's not too good, apparently. So another reason to kind of hate on this small market.
Hey, I live in Kansas. Trust me. I live in Kansas. I was in Tulsa every weekend. Trust me. I know. And then you get tornadoes and shit. I get it. Smitty, go ahead.
Yeah, I was asking you a question. Just I was saying, in the event that OKC were to lose this finals, I guess how big of a disappointment would this be? Because when I compare it to the last time you guys were in the finals in 2012, it was a different scenario. I have to look back, but I'm pretty sure that Heat team were the favorites with D-Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron. OKC was a young team. This was a young James Harden, a young Westbrook, a young KD. Where you fast forward to this year's a team, yeah, they're young, but they're the clear favorites. I think anybody outside of Indiana, everyone has OKC winning this thing. So how big of a disappointment would that be?
It would be a massive disappointment. I think this is the best shot that they've had ever to win it. I don't, and you're never guaranteed a shot like this,
right?
Like the NBA changes fast. And like, who's to say that like Victor Wembanyama doesn't come back next year and is like ready to dominate the league and he like takes over the West? Like I wouldn't predict that to happen quite yet, but that's on its way, I think.
Yeah.
And I do think that, when you look at the opponent and like, no shade at Indiana, but like who had Indiana even going to the finals, in October? Like nobody. Who picked them to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals even? They had just made the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's like, oh, that's cool. It was like almost like a pat on the head, like, hey, good job, Indiana. I don't think anybody thought they would get here. And so they've been really good. They've improved a lot. I think this is a quality opponent, but I think that Minnesota is probably a better basketball team than Indiana. I think that Denver is probably a better basketball team than Indiana. And so I think the Thunder have already faced their biggest tests. And if they lose to this team, I think that you have to like look at, like, is this team mature enough? Is this team, like, you start asking questions like that. You start asking questions about, is this team too young? Those are the kinds of directions you have to go, because they have a better star, they have a better defense, they have a better big man, they have a better bench. Like, they have everything they need. Like, I don't think there's any stat that tells me that Indiana's going to win this. I think that it would just be that Indiana
Better coach
sees the
potentially.
moment.
You
Say
could
it again?
argue. Well, you could argue more experienced coach, at least. You could argue that.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that would be part of it. It would, oh my gosh, we hear so much about Rick Carlisle if they won. And so I do think it would be a pretty big disappointment. Yeah.
Because that Mavericks team that he won with, I mean, people would, before going into that series, you would have thought the same thing. The same thing you're saying now, you're like, oh, that's a good team, but they're not going to beat the Heat. They're not going to beat LeBron, D-Wade, and it happened. So I'm a little biased. So I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. So I'm a 317 guy. So obviously I'm one of the crazy ones that thinks the Pacers could do it. But moving my bias to the side, OKC should be favored. They've been the best team all year long. I think the only questions that people had were, coming into the playoffs was just that, okay, can they do it when it matters the most? And they've done it. They beat the Broncos, the Nuggets. They beat the Timberwolves. They've done it. So now it's just a matter of just finishing. It sounds like you think it might be more of a dominant series, though. From like, you got OKC winning in 5 or a sweep, or what are you thinking?
I have OKC in 5.
Wow.
Yeah,
I got it going 7.
Let me ask you this. Just being a sports guy and coach my whole life and player, like, there has been teams that get it done that's kind of destined. It seems like this Pacers team, the shots they hit and the fucking big moments on the road, beating the Knicks.
Smith 6 threes in a minute.
Cleveland, they've knocked the 1 out. They've knocked the 2 out. Like, it seems like, or the 3. It seems like they're just a team of destiny. Is that destiny stop with and begin with Halliburton? And do you believe your perimeter defense is going to either prove to us that he is overrated, as everyone said he was, or is he the new star of the league if he can come out and do his thing and continue what he's on right now, which is a heater in the gambling world? Is that going to come down to Halliburton, in your opinion, on that side of it?
Yeah, I mean, the way that if he's able to get comfortable against the Thunder, then I think the Pacers can win. The problem is he's facing 3 of the best 7 perimeter defenders in the NBA that are all on the same team, that none of them have to overextend themselves, with the way that they're designed. You can throw Lou Dort on him for a majority of the first quarter, and then Casey Wallace gets a turn, then Alex Caruso gets a turn, and J-Dub will get a turn. I mean, the thing about it is, like, no one is overtaxed on the Thunder, and that's part of why their defense is so successful and why they can just fly around, is that they don't have to just have one guy out there defending. And so I do think that, I mean, Halliburton struggled. He averaged 11 points against the Thunder in the regular season. He really hasn't been able to get as many shots off in general against the Thunder team. And I do think that if he can get loose and if he can be the best player in the series, kind of like Dirk was, we talk about the other Rick Carlisle team, like Dirk was clearly the best player in that series. If Halliburton becomes the best player in this series, absolutely, Indy's got a chance. But it's a tall task, and it's one that he hasn't faced yet. You look at the teams that they played, the Cavs have a pretty soft perimeter defense. You look at the Knicks, they have some guys that can defend, but they have a lot of soft spots in their defense too. I mean, Halliburton is a genius level basketball player, and he knows where he can exploit matchups.
Right.
And you watch him play against Brunson, he's like, his eyes light up. Like, I can go at that guy. There's not really a guy to go at on OKC. And that's what, like, Anthony Edwards saw it in this last round. Like, Ant didn't have anywhere to go. Ant didn't know how to operate within the Thunder defense. And so if Halliburton can somehow surpass that, then yeah, I think that they've certainly got a shot.
Let me ask you this. To Smitty's point, if they don't get it done for whatever reason, I know they're a huge odds-on favorite in the gambling world. Do you have to go after one of these free agent stars? Would it be out of this realm to bring back a KD or go after someone like that of star stature to come back to an OKC to get you over the hump? Or are you going to continue to stay on this path, in your opinion, as a small market and say, no, we're this close? I mean, it would be a disappointment, we know, but if they don't, for whatever reason, do they have to go into free agency to go after someone, or can they, even with the salaries that they have to pay the guys to keep?
Yeah, it would have to be via trade, but I expect things to look the same whether they win or lose the finals. I think that they will go forward. They'll extend the young guys onto new deals. They will draft somebody at 15. They may trade the 24th pick. You know, it's gonna be business as usual for them. I think that they're not just like trying to win the title now, like as fast as they can.
Yeah.
They want to have sustained success, is like something that Presti has really hammered home a lot, is that they want to be good for a long time. And so I think that they don't want to have a 3-year run. They want to have an 8-year run, you know, with this team. And so in order to do that, like Kevin Durant's available on the trade market, it's no secret. I think that he would like to come back here. There's been whispers of that for a little while, but you have to get together $50 million in salary to trade for him. And you're talking about trading Isaiah Hartenstein, Luguentz Dort, and probably Cason Wallace. And so you're talking about 3 members of like a really good defense, guys that are contributing at a high level, and Kevin Durant, who wasn't even in the playoffs this year. So it's like, is that really what you want to do? Like Giannis is another question. But you'd have to give up a lot more to get Giannis. So we're talking about giving up, you know, J-Dub in a trade or Chet Holmgren in a trade.
Do that. Yeah.
And like, I just don't think that there's an appetite for that here in Oklahoma City. I think that they believe in who they've assembled, and whether or not they win, I honestly don't think will impact the way they build the team moving forward.
Yeah.
No,
when you're hopped off for a few seconds, I was kind of speaking on that. I just think from a storyline standpoint, like the fan in me, it just be a great story to see KD go back, him and Shea play together. You got your old star and face of the team versus the new face of the team. They come together to bring the first championship to OKC. Just from a storyline standpoint, it's like a fairy tale ending, but in reality, it probably won't happen. Let me ask you this though, real quick. So we talked about that 2012 team. Do you really think this team is better than that team? Like, when you've seen both, like I don't think so. I still, to me, if you could somehow make both those teams play each other in the finals, I think that Westbrook, Harden, KD team will beat this team. I think it'd be a tough series, but I think that team will win. I think they lost because they played against an unbelievable Miami Heat's team. You know what I'm saying? To where, like, again, if you could just change history, I don't know if this OKC team would beat that Heat team either. But sometimes matchups matter. And to your point, this OKC team is just the favorite over the Pacers. So, like, if they end up winning the championship, you know, they're going to go down in history as bringing the first championship to OKC. And they'll probably say Shea is the greatest Thunder, you know, of all time. And that's all fair. But if we really look at it, I don't know if this team is actually better than that team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think as far as like star power goes, you can't really beat Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden.
I forgot.
Yeah, but then like you look at the depth that they had. I mean, they were playing a 38-year-old Derek Fisher, you know, a lot of minutes, and that's in the playoffs. The other guys coming off the bench, we're talking about like Daquan Cook and Nazir Muhammad and Nick Collison. Like, this is like, they had some nice.
James Harden was coming off the bench too, though. At that time,
James Harden came off the bench, and Thabo Sefolosha was starting. He
was nice. I like him.
So I mean, I think as far as depth goes, the Thunder team is quite a bit better. I also think like cohesiveness. Okay. Like that Thunder team never really had the cohesion. They just were a battering ram of talent. Yeah. And there's like nothing that you could do to stop them because they were just that much more talented.
Yeah. I had Ibaka. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they would have a shot just because I think this Thunder team is they're the best. Like, this is the best Thunder defense that we've ever seen.
Yeah,
no doubt, no doubt.
You know, like there's nothing even close to it. So I do think like that gives you like this baseline chance, certainly. And then also like, I mean, if the Thunder win the title, I think that things just change. The way you talk about teams change so much when teams win it all.
Right.
Because like it took Kevin going and playing with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green to actually win the whole thing, you know.
Right.
And like since he's left them, what has he won?
Yeah,
you know, I would
like
worry
that.
about that. Like when it comes to like crunch time, Russell Westbrook, same thing. Russ has been to the finals one time, and it was with
Yeah.
that team. You know, James Harden hadn't been to the finals since that team either. And so when we're talking about like actually winning it, I think you have like there are guys that can win it all as the number one guy, and there are guys that just can't do it. And so I just, as talented as that Thunder team was, you know, they just never did it. And some of it was injuries, and some of it was luck, and some of it was who they played, and all that. You can come up with as many excuses as you want.
Yeah.
But like the fact is, like if you're good enough to go win it, you're gonna win it. And so I think this Thunder team, they at least to this point have shown that they I think that they've got what it takes. Now they've got to go do it. And if they lose, then I'll talk about them the same way I'm talking about this Thunder team here in a couple weeks. But if they go win it all, I think that it really changes, you know, the conversations like historically and the way we talk about the Thunder.
Let me ask you this: as you leave here, I can't thank you enough for hopping on. I got a coaching like intuition question, and here's what it is: like, are you guys worried at all on that side of being the first time for your head coach to be in the limelight on an NBA Finals game, mass coverage? The lights matter sometimes when it's the first time. Not having anybody on that roster, I don't believe that's won it. And you facing a team that's won it with Siakam, who won in Toronto, the coach who's won it. They've been here, done that, so to speak. Are you worried about that being that it factor at all, and maybe having a letdown in game one, which Indiana has proven to do on the road against the gauntlet teams in Cleveland and New York twice? If they go out and win one, the confidence is going to be unbelievable for the Pacers team to go back home split or whatever. And are you worried about that at all when it comes to the coaching experience and a Siakam being that it factor, having the it factor as the maybe that guy that's the X factor, let's say, having won it and being his MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals and Siakam? I think that's something to look at if I'm a coach, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to know until you've actually done it. You know, it's like hard. Like, is he capable? I think a lot of people think he is. I think he's grown a lot as a coach. I think Mark has grown a lot as a coach throughout the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a 3-point game, 1 minute left, you know, a lot of it is on the players, but it's about the coach too. Are you making the right decision? Are you calling a timeout at the right time? You know, they had the blunder in game one against Denver where they were fouling up three with too much time left in the backcourt, and that was Mark's decision. And so there have been some blunders along the way. I think that he's learned from those. But honestly, this is something that we've got to learn, you know, like if Mark is ready to do it, you know, in the finals. I think that as far as concern goes, I don't know if there's a ton of concern about that, but it's going to be a factor. You know, the finals are just different, you know, even like the media credentials are different. You know, you have to be credentialed through the NBA, and they're having all these events and all these things, and
the lights are different.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, everything is different. And so
are you more on the side of this is who you guys are? And it seems like that's what I get from your coach and your players. Like, they're just out there playing in the street. It's pickup basketball. They don't really give a shit who they're playing. This is kind of that vibe I get too. So it's kind of going to be a matchup war, in my opinion, as far as the experience versus the guys that don't care. We're just better than you. So I see it going both ways here.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that kind of prides themselves in like being in the moment and like not thinking too far ahead. Like, one of Mark's philosophies is be where your feet are. And so like just like, and those guys really take to it. You know, a lot of it sounds so cheesy like from the outside looking in, but you talk to these guys for 5 minutes and it's like, oh, like this is impacting them this is impacting their lives the way that they're being coached. And so I do think that for the most part, they should be ready and prepared for this moment. But you don't know until you know.
Last thing I got for you, I can't think enough, is a management question. You guys got a lot of picks. A lot of people don't realize you got a lot of draft capital coming up. What do you do with that? Do you use that for assets and go get a wily veteran regardless win or lose? Or are you what can you do with that? Like you said, you mentioned you're going to use those to help pay current guys. Is that your mindset with this thing, knowing the insides?
I think what they'll do is that they will use these draft picks to backfill the roster and find guys that are good, that are on these like lower contracts. And then I think that we'll see them. This is one thing they've been doing the last several years, is that they'll take a pick that they have now, trade it to a team that really needs a draft pick, and get their higher level draft pick for later. And so we've seen them do that to Denver a couple times. I suspect that we'll see that again this year, where they just ask these teams like, hey, give us a top 5 protected pick out in 2029. Who knows? The world may be over. Might as well just give it to us anyways, kind of thing. And so, and like the idea is that like they want to have picks when, Shea is 29 and these other guys are 25, and so I think like that is kind of the mode that they're in now. It's like, hey, let's not only win now, but let's prepare for when these guys are older, and they can either make those draft selections and bring them in, or they can trade them and like say they really need a shooter. Like they could go trade for a shooter because you have first round picks. So I think that it'll be more used as currency to backfill the roster more than it is to go and trade for somebody big.
No doubt, man. Enjoy it, man. We may, this thing doesn't happen too often for these teams, so enjoy it, man. And wish you the best. And I can't thank you enough for hopping on. Maybe we get you back on if you guys win it all, and before the thing ends. So good luck to everything you do. And what do you got in the fire other than that? You do your own show, I know. What else you got going?
So I do a Thunder show called Down to Dunk that airs 3 days a week. And then I'm the executive producer of the Athletic NBA Daily. And so it's a show that's in your feed every single morning. It's about a 20-minute show, so it's real quick. Just kind of helps you get caught up on what happened the day before. And so, yeah, I would love for people to support both those.
No doubt. Hey, you guys go follow Andrew on X and follow everything he does. Appreciate you, Andrew.
Good luck, man. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Who it's gonna be interesting now.
20-minute show, man. Successful show. Hey, it's interesting. This series, man. I'm excited for it.
Too short, 20 minutes. I can't even.
2 man, even like brand paid for the whole thing. Big money, big bread. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a good series. Competitive series, fun, fast paced. So.
Hey, update for tomorrow for everybody that's still here. Michael Cooper will be on tomorrow, and comedian extraordinaire Craig Shoemaker, who's at the Laugh Factory tonight, I believe, will be on as well. And then Friday, the legendary Atlanta Falcon, Ray Buchanan, will join us. So can't wait to have great stories, him and Dion, and going against Andre Rison every day at practice. That whole thing. Can't wait to hear from Ray Buchanan, who's known for talking shit to Shannon Sharp. Can't wait to talk to him on Friday. So we got a loaded guest lineup for the rest of the week. So shout out to everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow for Truth Telling Thursday. Steve Kim joins us. Plus, I'm sure we'll have some other guests. And thought that was Steve Kim. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Truth Telling Thursday, man. So, shout out to the Dodgers getting it done last night in 10 innings.
Came back. Bottom of the 10th. Went yard. Man, they so good.
Right now, Smitty, Bet US tonight. You can go get you a bet in for the Stanley Cup Finals. Go check it out on Bet US TV right now. Use the promo code Coach AB. Who you got tonight, Smitty? Edmonton or Florida? In Edmonton. Go.
It's in Edmonton. They're at home. They're pissed off what happened last year. I got Edmonton game 1.
I think Florida steals it on the road tonight. Goes up 1-0.
And Canada.
It'll go 7. Go America's 51st state. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow.
You love Trump. Elon pissed at him right now, calling him out. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Man. Y'all have a good one.
No,
Big Smitty, JB, we out.
Cap.